show of the week. That's right. It is squatching time, baby. We're doing it on a Thursday today. And I know we haven't had any real set days where we're going to do live stream, but that's just the way it is, baby. You know, life happens. You know, we rolling with the punches. We get the shows done when we can do. And, you know, I hope everyone's having a wonderful week so far. Uncle Potsquatch is doing well, you know. We're sitting here, we're flushing away, approaching harvest day. You know, we're going to bring down that silver train wreck. And to be honest with you, like, I mean, a couple of people comment, man, it looks like the Bruce Banner. It looks like, you know, that F11. You know, it could probably go like 12 weeks. And to be fair, I completely agree that there is a very good chance that it would go that long. Am I willing? Am I willing to have it go that long? I just don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I just don't know. Oh, I should turn that off. There we go. Then we won't get any weird sounds in the background from the computer plugged into the audio system there. But, so, you know, there's a good chance I'm thinking, like, you know, we're going to push this one because there's not really any ambering going on those silver train wrecks yet. I don't need too much. I think I'm going to try to hit that sort of high THC window. We'll take it down to Dave and we'll see, you know, what kind of actual, you know, percentages we getting on that silver train wreck, that old school realities, right? And I'm curious to see what that girl is testing at. So we're going to try to sort of nail that window. So we're just playing it day to day, checking our trike colors. And to be fair, I'll probably just bring the other ones down when they come down, and that's just going to go into making some good old hash, you know what I'm saying? But like we always do, let's get back to the beginning here, and we'll say hi to everybody. For those of you who are new here joining, like, subscribe, tell your friends. Cheers to you, new and old. We are currently still fighting the algorithm and the algorithmic bullshit of us getting that strike, you know what I'm saying, wrongfully. And so it is what it is. And it's so funny. It's like, you know, our numbers were so great, and then we get a strike, and then our numbers are just not the same anymore. And it's like, well, you know what, YouTube, guess what? We're stubborn here at Potsquatch Growers, and we're going to keep on going, and we're going to keep on going on. So let's go to the very beginning here. What's up, Anthony Cordero? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. What's up, Clearly Cruising? Good to see you, baby. What's up, Daddy O'Groves? What's happening? All right. What's up, Soul Price? Good to see you, baby. All right. Whoa, that's a lot of Soul Price messages. All right. What's up to Marcus Pierce? Good to see you. What's up, Miss Case Garden? Good to see you, girl. All right. Soul Price. I mean, interesting statement you make there. So I'm gonna repeat this comment. So let's hear. I'm a soil person. It's for beginners. For beginners. To be fair, soil's not just for beginners. Soil's for the rest of us too. I'll let you in on a secret. The people growing dank, the people growing quads, the people that are fucking cranking out BC, the best bud in BC, we're all growing in dirt too. No one growing quads typically, and I'm not saying it's not possible, but no one growing quads is running aquaponics. They're not running drip feed systems into a rock wool without no soil substrate, okay? Like, they're not running hydro, okay? Hydro is the most overrated thing, in my opinion, out there. I mean, it's like, I've done it all. I've been around the block. But soil may be a more forgiving a starting point for people, and I'll definitely say that's true. But I will also say those of us who are you know, out there growing quads, a lot of my boys, they're all in dirt. Everybody, like, nobody's not using dirt. Like, dirt grown weed is just different, and it is the superior option in my humble 2 cents. Okay, so where it may be more forgiving, and it's a great place to start. Don't think that if you're growing in soil, right, like, dude, the best motherfuckers around, okay, growing soil. Okay, so just remember that. That's all I'm gonna say on that one. But anyway, let's keep going here. Have I missed anybody to say hi to? I'm just reading. I'm reading people's messages. Reading messages. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading. Just reading. Just reading. Ooh, Miss K's Garden has an interesting statement. So she's saying, I thought tent growing was a challenge, but I'm thinking I'm assuming she's finding that outdoor growing is actually more challenging. I would say, depending on the area, depending on your weather, if it's getting like crazy hot spikes or other crazy weird things happening, for show. I can see where there'd be a plethora of issues outside that, especially if you're an inside grower that you're not used to growing, you know, outdoors, you could run into. Um, yeah, bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading. I'm still reading. I agree, Marcus Paris. I'm an indoor guy, always have been, always will be. Doesn't mean I don't do things outside once in a blue moon. But what's up, that guy channel 2? Good to see you, baby. All right. What's up, Anthony Cordero? What's up, I Spot Cannabis? What's up, Dale Ski OG? What's up, Zach Davis, buddy? Good to see you. All right. Mikey, yo, what's up, buddy? Hey, no worries, Mikey. Things have been really good here at Potsquatch Growers. Before that strike, man, we were getting shows. We were getting thousands and thousands of views during the live stream. Um, Thousands and thousands of views briefly on a couple of the update videos. And then, that strike happened, and now that's not happening, but whatever, it is what it is. We'll keep on fighting to get back to where we are and do whatever we did to get there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, what's up, Adirondack Grown? I got a feeling I'm saying that right wrong, buddy, but Adirondack Grown. I don't know if I'm saying that right. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. Um, yeah, bro, Marcus Paris. I miss not having a lab too, buddy. I miss it too, Marcus. And it's interesting to me because like sometimes like people will tune in who have been around for the show or any of the videos for a while, and so we released last night the 9 weeks little update video. And this one dude who I remembered his name from years ago, and he commented on the thing, and he's like, "Bro, you got divorced, man?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro, where you been, man? That was like over 2 years ago." Shit, man, I got divorced. That was the second time. I fucking almost died last year. Like, it's like, man, some shit been going down in the pot squatch world. But nah, yeah, it was funny. And it reminds me that sometimes, people don't know, right, what's been going down. And then that kind of then reseated the thoughts of, man, I do miss having a grow lab. I miss having more space. I was actually just talking to a close buddy of mine. I don't know. We briefly had him in the show. We did that Halloween special at his grow on Halloween night. That was down the road from my first house that I bought with the ex there. And, so he's thinking about, going back and getting things going again. He's been shooting this TV show that's like a reality show that he's part of, so I can't talk about that. But, and he's doing that with the producer who did, Rust Valley Restorations and all that kind of stuff. And, he's friends with Avery, he's friends with Mike, he's friends with all of them. And so, they're doing some stuff, and they got a couple of other shows they're going to be making. And then, like, heck, it's funny, like, he wants to bring on Uncle Potsquatch's Cadillac once he gets it back from being rebuilt. He's like, once you get it rebuilt, bring it back in, and we'll, like, change everything again. I'm like, man, I don't know, but maybe. But he was talking about up where he lives, he wants to get something going again. And I was like, man, I'd love to have a room again, too. But you never know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. You never know what's going to happen. Also, for those of you who are new here. Oh, all right. So I did say it right. Dope. Well, welcome to the show, my friend. Upstate NY. Hell yeah. How's the weather down there, man? Welcome. And yeah, it's always fun when you got lots of room to play around with your plants. But, in a weird way, I look at where we're at for the show right now. It's like, it's an origin story. It's like get back to your roots, screwing around, what started the channel, what you started doing as the Potsquatch back in the hood days, right? So, the first run we did, which was the Miracle Alien Cookies by, almost won't say it was like a Miracle Alien Cookies by, like, I can't even remember now. It was a Mac by something, which is all the rage. Mac crosses are huge in BC right now with a lot of growers. And I think they're all right. Some of the Macs are dank. Like, some of the Mac crosses are dank, for show. And then we did, like, Amendo cherries and shit. And then, basically, we've been doing old school genetics. So, like, this last one we're doing right now, we got the Silver Trainwreck going, which overall I've been pretty happy with. I'm pretty stoked to dry those out, trim those up, and see how they smoke, and get those tested. Like, I'm curious to see what these old school beans do in terms of taking them down to the lab and see what the lab says, We got that F11 blueberry, which, I mean, it's definitely not functioning like the old school blueberry. It's definitely become its own thing. It might do better outside. But I haven't been overly happy with it. And with the run window on it, though, in terms of its flowering, I mean, I haven't been stoked on that either. I'm typically someone who's more of an indica dominant, shorter window strain leaning grower. That's kind of my happy place, right? I like, things that are going to finish in 8 to 10 weeks. And to be fair, very rarely have I ever seen anything done at 8 weeks. Most things are like, 8.5 to 9.5. And let's be fair, that's like a realistic place for them to be finishing. You know, and then we got the Bruce Banner, another classic, you know what I'm saying? Again, haven't been overly happy with it. I mean, I've got a few different versions of Bruce Banner, so maybe down the road we'll bust out some of those other Bruce Banners that I got and compare and contrast and see what those ones grow like. But it also is having an elongated window, which is a little bit longer than I want to do, especially during the summer months too, right? Um, but next up we got a new fun little cross, which will be the blue cheese by the Girl Scout cookies, based on the foliar development that we're seeing on these seedlings. Man, it's a little wonky, it's a little weird, but that's sort of kind of classic and par for the course when it comes to like cheese based anything. So it's nice to see that cheese base being prevalent within those genetics, at least from seedling stage so far. Let me see if I've missed. What's up, John Wick? Good to see you, buddy. All right. Let's see here now. I'm just saying. What's up, Mike L. has key? Welcome, Mike L. has key. Everyone who's new, feel free to ever ask as many questions as you want. Feel free to engage with the show, anyone who's new, okay? What's up, True Ozzy Ray? Good day to you as well, buddy. But this is a safe place for all people to embrace the love of growing and cultivating, smoking, and consuming cannabis, both medically, recreationally, spiritually, whatever you're into. But everyone welcome, baby. So, participate, ask questions, have fun. There is no such thing as a stupid question. Marcus Pierce says it would be good to hear some about airflow, air exchange, stale air, etc. I found having a decent exhaust and fresh air intake improves the yield. Lots of people out there growing in closets, etc. Totally. So Marcus Pierce, if you don't have an air intake or an air exhaust, certain mitigating factors become harder on you, right? So your relative humidity can be an issue, yieldability can be an issue, moisture buildup can be an issue. That's where when growing inside, like doing our defoliation, staying on top of that, breaking that shit down, that's a big thing that can, do a lot of things to help us when we're growing without that. There's also the concept of, should I run a negative pressure or a positive pressure in terms of our tent? You can go either way. I typically myself am more of a positive pressure running kind of guy. I'm more positive pressure leaning when it comes to something I like. For example, I don't have an exhaust on my tent. I've just got a dual air intake system that's just pumping air in from the left and the right on this little tent here, right? And but air movement's really important. You got to remember though too, right? Like CO2 in general. CO2 is what the plant is actually respirating, right? The cellular respiration of that plant is happening with CO2. So that's where added CO2s are in general, gonna bust our yields through the roof. They're going to make a crazy difference in terms of that. So having air intake, I would say, in many senses, is in one sense more beneficial than having an exhaust. I don't have an exhaust, and I'm totally mitigating my relative humidity by augmenting the relative humidity of the ambient space around me. I've got enough air intake. I'm not letting plants sit in open water. I'm making sure that there's decent air movement and nothing's like too on top of itself in the tent, right? This grow's been a little bit all over the place and everything. I've been all over, and we kind of let the plants fight, but so even just having an air intake from the natural ambient CO2 that you're going to give off, your plants or your pets are going to give off, anyone in the household is going to give off, right? Bringing in that mixture of even open air. If you open your windows, you bring the air into the space, right? That is going to deliver higher levels of CO2 naturally by just having an air intake, okay? So yeah, air intake, exhaust, air movement, all very important things, especially for mitigating certain things. And general thing, the yield experience on that, Marcus, totally, 100%. That yield you're noticing though is also going to be coming predominantly from the intake, but also remember that exhaust though too is going to pull out some of the oxygen that those plants are producing, and that's going to shoot that into your environment while it's pulling in more CO2 from the ambient environment. So these are all going to have actual effects on our grows. That sounds sexy, Miss Case Garden, by the way. 5.5 feet tall, 3 feet around. I'm assuming that's your outdoor plant. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just going to read here. I'm falling behind like I always do. Bear with me, everybody. What's up, Outlaws Nation? Good to see you. What's up, little Chewy Stewie? Good to see you, baby. All right. Bear with me, everybody. I'm just reading this shit. What's up, Warriors? How you doing, buddy? So Smokey, do you mean you're usually waiting like a 12-week vegetation period on your plants? That sounds sexy, Zach. That's a big plant, man. What's up, Astro Clone Wolf? Good to see you, buddy. Hit me, man. Ask any question you want, man. Well, so Mike L has key. So I mean, in a vegetative state, obviously you're going to be mixing your shit, okay, where you're going to be heavy on the nitrogen, easy accessible sugars. You know what I mean? I typically used a bottle nutrient system. That's a three-part, and then I use augmenting secondaries on top of that. But like, I'm going heavy on my grow. Pretty steady on my micro, and my bloom is it's all in there. Like I use a little bit of bloom in my veg, obviously, but not tons and tons. It depends on the strain. It depends on your medium. It depends on your light. It depends on a lot of things in terms of how you're going to approach your feed. The thing to remember with cannabis is if you work it up to it, it can pretty much eat as much as you want it to. Okay. So the numbers in a sense, are a good indicator of, basically what the concentration is, what the basic breakdowns, the different main components are. Okay. But it's not like something I'm going to be overly too concerned about too. It'll give me a base rate of understanding of what my feed is, and then I'm going to observe what the plant needs. I'm going to observe what the plant's doing, and I'm going to adjust and augment my feeding from there, based off of that. Numbers are also important when you're using certain bloom boosters. Some of them have they're really really hot. They have really really high numbers, so you got to be really really careful. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, ask the question, Astro. You're not wrong though, Chewy Stewie, but an air intake's going to bring in a hell of a lot more good air than an exhaust is. But I run positive pressure, so I'm a positive pressure kind of guy in my tents. Astro Clone Wolf says, when is the optimal time to start growing indoor tents? Well, it's indoors, so anytime's optimal time. You can always grow year round if you're an indoor grower. I feel like you're asking though, do you mean in terms of like seasonal stuff, in terms of things? I mean, we can break that down. There is no optimal time. It depends on your point of flavor, right? So, like, if you're growing during the summer, you're gonna have higher temperatures, or you're gonna have higher power costs because you're gonna have to be running ACs. In the winter, you're gonna have cooler temperatures. So you may have to run heaters, or maybe you could augment your relative temperature by then running dehumidifiers if you need them, air movement, all that kind of a thing. You could live in a place where at certain periods of the day or certain times of the year, the power may cost less or may cost more, which is going to augment the cost of your production per gram on what you're doing. Maybe give me a bit more on that question of what you specifically mean, my friend, and I'm happy to give you my humble 2 cents. There you go, True Aussie. So that is called an open airflow system. And I got a lot of buddies who are open airflows here in BC. It works really well on like the coast or the Sunshine Coast or the island where you've got a lot of like ocean air and movement. And that's great also for mitigating temperatures and relative humidity. It will get you into an issue typically when you go more inland, which is my one buddy was building his new medical grow. And I told him, man, I was like, dude, you got to get like a 2 ton or a 3 ton on the roof, man. You're not going to be able to mitigate your temperatures and your shit the way you thought you would. The way it was working for you on the Sunshine Coast ain't gonna work inland. He didn't listen, and then boom, he had a $10,000 bill of a new install that he had to do. But it is what it is. Dude, I Spy Cannabis, that's amazing. What were the videos that you did that didn't get age restricted? I pretty much have everything age restricted in general on my shit. Yeah, so Mike L has key. Yeah, no, fish shit's great, man. I mean, there's a little product called fish shit. It is good. You know, I got a lot of buddies. That's the whole premise of like an aquaponic system, right? So we're using the cycled water off of a fish habitat to feed our plants. So it definitely is good for your plants, man. Sorry, everybody. I'm just reading. Give me a second. What's up, Gabby Davis? What's crack-a-lacking? I hide her behind her. What? What does that mean, Gabby Davis? I'm confused now. So you wait 12 weeks in flower. So Smokey, you should not be. I mean, 12 weeks. I've seen things run 20 weeks. Well, I've heard of things running 12 weeks. I've seen something run 18. Let's be honest. But your harvesting window is not going to be augmented by the amount of time that you're spending in flower. Your harvesting window is actually going to be dictated by your trike color. Obviously, knowing certain special realities or origin stories of our genetics, we're going to have a good indicator. But like you could see one strain where you'll have phenotypes that'll come down at 11. You'll have maybe some phenos that are 9 or 10. You'll have some phenos that could go 16, 18, or even up to 20. This is obviously going to be with like heavily sat leading things typically, you know, but hazes, for example, right? Like, I mean, if you listen to Shanti Bubba or Neville talk about the hazes back in the day, like they could never quite get it to properly finish, like even with these huge long time windows. So if you're doing like a sat, like a haze, something like that, yeah, like that's not unheard of. But make sure you're going to be checking those trike colors though, right? Because that's going to be then signaling to you, you know, when you go full milk on your trike, that's the highest level of THC or tetrahydrocannabinol on your plant. Okay, when you start seeing that milkiness, okay, and those milky glands, some of them are going to start ambering. That is signifying the conversion to a CBN. Okay, so that is something we're watching for, and that's a point of taste too. There is no right time necessarily of when to harvest per se, because your medicine is your medicine, right? So it's like typically if you were growing for a commercial market, you're going to want to bring down typically your highest THC level. That's going to be your thing. Unless it's an indica, then you're going to maybe go to a mild ambering because that's going to give you some lock or couch lock kind of, you know, nature to it, so that your consumer who's smoking it going to be liking it. But when you're going for your own personal stuff, your own personal medicine, your own personal stash, okay, you know, that's going to be what do you like? I mean, you know, if you like that late pick, if you like that high CBN level, I say, fuck it, do it. Don't let anyone tell you different. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading again. I'm reading again. What's up, Cookie Tech? Cookie Tech. As a beginner, how much will it cost me? I am from Pakistan. Well, okay, so I'm not overly familiar with what basic grow tech would be available to someone in Pakistan. I'm assuming that you probably got access to Amazon and all that shit. Honestly, you know, if you're starting on a small thing and it's a hobby thing, you know, don't go drop too much money at the beginning. Typically, a basic, small, decent grow light that'll do like a single plant, let's say. Honestly, to buy something that's good, like a good light, is going to cost you anywhere from, you know, now I speak Canadian, so I'll give it to you in Canadian dollars. I hope that's okay. But like that's going to cost you roughly like a good light that's going to be reliable and you'll have use for it as you grow. And if you want to start growing more, then it'll become your seedling light or something like that. Like what does one of our little squatches go for? It's like 300 some odd bucks, give or take. So like for a really decent little light to start, it's going to give or take 300 bucks. You know, you don't need the fanciest tet to start. You don't need all the fancy equipment. Shit, I would say when you're starting out, that's really important to get yourself a decent light. A decent light is where you don't really want to cheap out on that. You can get away with using cheaper fans, cheaper other parts. You can build your own air intake systems. You can build your own carbon scrubber for smells and shit. Okay, I had a video like a billion years ago where we built our own carbon scrubber and stuff like that. So a tent typically is going to be, fuck, I haven't checked on the prices of those anymore recently either. A cheap tent will be maybe about 150 bucks. Could be a little cheaper. If you can swing it, I buy a slightly more expensive tent. So, you know, so then you can get some good runs out of it. Cause like these cheap tents, I got one right here. Like this used to be one of the cheapest tents in fucking, Amazon. It's an iodine tent. I think it was like 130 bucks. And they're all right. You'll get some life out of them, but just by the inherent nature of the heat growing in them and doing X, Y, or Z in them, right? They start to break down. They get light leaks. They get little pinholes. They get this or that. So, you know, and you know, buying a basic air mover. The air mover that I used on my air mover here to make a basic air intake for this was like 60 bucks on Amazon. It is a ducking turbocharging fan built into a thing. I connected that basically into a T-split vent thing. Then I ran some dryer connector tubes onto it. Boom, done. Put a little bit of cheesecloth over the intake to keep hair and bullshit out. Good to go. Those are the basic things to have a tent. Next, all you need is dirt, food, seeds. Good to go. That is the basics of what you need for show. Cookie tech, sometimes we do. We have in the past, yes. We have in the past, and we do sometimes, yeah. Right now, I'm playing it safe on YouTube on certain things after getting that strike about making the seed bank video. But another place where I can do a giveaway safely is our Facebook group. So join the Facebook group, because if we were to do something, we would probably do a giveaway in terms of beans through there, because it's a hell of a lot safer for me, and it won't put the channel in danger as we're currently carrying a strike that will expire in like 2 months and 3 weeks. So join the Facebook group. It's called the Potsquatch Growers community on Facebook. Hey, thanks, Big Logic. Much love, buddy. Oh, hell yeah, buddy. I'll just call you Mike. Sound good. There's a lot of Mikes, so Michael's in this group, man, I tell you. Gabby Davis or Bigfoot. I feel like I missed the first part of your sentence, girl. Oh, it's another word for a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot? All right, I dig it, girl. I dig it. Thank you, Gabby. I didn't know that one. I learned another one. That's dope. I like learning shit, girl. I'm not just here to teach. I like learning, too. Game with JC. Hi, I noticed how silky your press was. My what? Skin/hair care routine is. Oh, I understand. Do you mean my skin? I just shave my head every day. I use Italian shaving soap. So I have Italian soap that I use with a boar bristle brush. I shave every day. My head is acclimatized to having metal scraped across it. I use Dove's all-in-one men's body wash shit. I don't use anything else. I occasionally will oil my beard. My beard is oiled with my own beard oil brand. It's available on our store, potsquatchsales.com. It is a broad spectrum CBD beard oil. My preferred scent that we offer is Squatch Stank. I do that maybe these days, maybe once or twice a week. Yeah, so I just use body wash and shave my head every day, to be honest. I do think that the Italian shaving soap, though, everybody, is a big deal. And in terms of shaving, for men out there, if you're bald like me and you shave a lot or you shave your face, Gillette Fusion 5 is the best razor I've currently found. So, but fun. No one's ever asked me that. Thank you for the compliment. Ooh, look at that. My skin's not bad. Not bad for a man who drinks beer and smokes cigarettes. All right. Thank you. What's up, Yeti Mountain Trading? Good to see you, man. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, yo, Gabby Davis, anytime you got to ask a question about weed titties, I'm always happy to give my humble 2 cents. I encourage anyone, new, old, doesn't matter if you think I've answered this question 1,001 times, because maybe I have. I don't give a fuck. I will answer it again. Anyone is allowed to ask honest questions. So I gave you those numbers, Cookie Tech. If you go back, I broke it down for you in Canadian. I can't tell you in Pakistani dollars, or I don't actually know what your currency is called. But like, the basics of what you're gonna need is a basic tent, basic air intake, some basic soil, decent soil, some all right genetics, and a decent light. Decent light's gonna cost you, give or take, like $300 Canadian plus shipping. Unless it's like from Amazon. And a lot of the stuff on there, though, be wary of shit on Amazon. They charge a lot for it. It's usually their line. They say, oh, they're top bin diodes. Bullshit, they're not. I know that for a fact because like everything we build on our lighting brand is top shelf bin or top bin diodes. But it's like, those are expensive. They're hard to get. And our lights cost a lot. And there's a reason why. It's like we just physically can't make them cheaper. We don't make a shitload of money on the lights we build for people. But we do it because we care. I am a huge advocate for low-stress training on plants indoors, Mike. So to give you a rough number in Canadian, okay, I'll do my best. A bale of dirt here, at least. I can't tell you in Pakistan, right? I don't know what you're going to have to go out there and do research. I can tell you the things you're going to need, and you're going to go have to find out what they cost. Basic light, $300. Decent enough tent, $150 to $250. Air intake, $60 for a vent turbocharger booster thing off of Amazon is where I ordered mine. Get yourself a couple of dryer tubes. And a T-bracket, and a joiner and some duct tape. So that's going to be like another $20, $30. Plus the thing, $5 or $6, $7, $8 for like a dryer tube. So boom, there you go. And that's the basic what you need. A bale of dirt here, at least, from decent stuff. Like I like Promix HP. They may not have the same thing, but I'm sure they have a similar equivalent available in your country of origin. That normally is costing me these days, like I think like maybe $40 or $50 for like a big, compressed brick of that shit. Yeah, dude. True Aussie Ray, when we get a broad audience of people from all over the world coming in and asking, those are my favorite shows. I love it. It makes me, it just shows how global the love of weed titties is. And I love it. I love it. I love answering questions all over the world. So John Wick, that's what I would suggest to him for, step 2, John. Step 1 is, successfully growing a plant, not killing it. And then from there, then you can kind of keep going from there for sure. You know what I'm saying? Cookie Tech, man, you know what? My company offers consultations, but I don't got the money to come to Pakistan. I would visit Pakistan, though. If I had an invitation or if a company was like, we need you to come over here and help us, or a group of people wanted me to come over and help them for a bit, we do offer consultations. We do consults for hire. I prefer to come when it's not the hot season, because it's probably in your winter is probably still too hot for me, but that's okay. That's what sunscreen for, and hats. The ones that got us in trouble would be Mr. Nice, Seed Bank, and AG Seed Co. by Tom McCormick. What's up, Alaska? What's crack-a-lackin'? Dude, I have never heard of the Chitral Purple Kush or the Chitral Valley. However, I have smoked many indica and Kush-based varieties or things that had origin from Pakistan. And I will totally acknowledge that some of the most beautiful weed comes from your part of the world, bro. 100%, dude. I would love to play with some legit landrace Pakistani genetics. I've got some Afghani land races that were a land race coming to the dude out of Afghanistan. Then he bred them, so it would be like an F1 selective inbreeding from him on those. But that would be cool, man. Your daughter has issues. No, I know Joyce is your daughter, bro. She's always asking me about my beauty regimen. I just shaved my head, girl. No, I feel you, Jonathan. For me, though, it's just like, being a bald dude, I just shave it all. I shave it every day now. Do I know JD? Nah, bro, I don't. What's up, Daniel and Drathy? Good to see you, buddy. Mike, totally down to do video chats. I'm always happy to help when I got time. So I am on the Facebook, bro. Sweet dreams, Marcus. Anything Kush or indica variety is typically my favorite way to go to Cookie Tech. There's a lot of strains that I love: Master Kushes, Burmese Kushes, Northern Lights, Purist Indica, Purple Indica if it's true, Purple Power Plant, Cheese. I love an old school cheese, Hash Plant, Texada Time Warp, Alaskan Thunderfuck, Hootney Gold. These are all old school strains that I love. Oop, there goes my vape. Ah! Hell yeah, Anthony. That sounds dope, man. Yo, your boy, Roy boy. What's up? Yo, your name's fun to say, bud. I like that. Yeah, no, Tom McCormick's a G, man. 100%. Hell yeah, Michael. It's not hard to figure out who I am. Just look for my shiny bald head. Yeah, you know what, Blob Jones? That's one of the few newer ones that I've actually heard of. And I don't know if I've ever played with any of their beans, but I've heard really good things from people I respect. So, hell yeah. Plus, all female company, that's really cool too. I'm a big supporter of that. Like, our space, like, there's a lot of female growers out there. There's a lot of women that like to grow weed. But it's like kitchens often. It's kind of a male dominated space in many ways. So it's nice to see women becoming, more active and participating because weed titties for everybody. You know what I'm saying? If anything, women might even have more medical uses than we do for cannabis. We actually did a special live stream show a while back with Dr. Ife Abiola, who's the leading cannabis doctor in Canada. And he was talking legitimately. Like, he gave a whole speech, not on the show, obviously. He referenced a whole lecture he gave talking about the medical applications for women and women's health needs with cannabinoids and cannabinoids based out of cannabis. And it was really, really interesting, dude. Yeah, it's because True Aussie Ray, you got to remember Miracle Grow typically is incorporating long release or slow release feeds into their shit, and it's also just extremely chemically. So yeah, no, I'm not shocked that you're experiencing it that way. Yeah, dude, that hash plant, dude, Blop Jones, that hash plant turned out the way it was supposed to. It smelled and tasted exactly the way it was supposed to. And the funny thing is, Jonathan, I'm a taste and aroma guy too. Taste, aroma, or as I call it, the smokability, is the most important thing for cannabis for me. Like, I don't care how strong something is. I mean, yeah, it's always nice when something fucks you up really hardcore if you just smoke a joint. But like if it tastes and smells amazing, and I gotta smoke two or three of them to get where I want to be, then great. I get to smoke two or three things that smell and taste great. That sounds good to me. Well, Anthony, like, I've got enough of these Afghani supposed landrace beans that if I get a good male and a good female, I could definitely make a bunch of them and throw them up on the store. I love Miss K's garden. I love you, girl. This is great. Everybody, I gotta read Miss K's thing here. Miss K goes, cannabis kept many males alive in my life. Oh, girl, I love you, man. That's hilarious. Oh, shit. I could totally see how that would happen, too. So it's not just good for women's health, it's good for our health so we don't get killed when we accidentally piss them off. Because I'd say 9 times out of 10, we don't mean to. We're just special. The male gender. Oh, Miss K, sometimes you get me with these little ringer comments, man. That was funny, dude. I love that. That was great. Well, then keep growing, Miss K. I don't need you getting a triple homicide or anything. Oh shit! Sorry, True Aussie Ray. So yeah, I could talk to about Miracle Grow then. So Miracle Grow, one, owned by the devil. It's also associated with Monsanto, who are literally on a thing trying to own the genome of pot. So it's like, fuck off. It's Mother Nature, man. Okay, you can't do that. But secondly, I will say that again, it's ethically not a place to source anything from. But two, it's extremely salty. It is filled with chemicals. There are slow release feeds in there that you'll never flush out properly. It will augment and make weird tastes of your weed. Let's say in a weird world, it's all you have access to. I say, I guess use it, but if you have any other option, try to do that. And the great thing is in terms of basic organic farming, there's a lot of things we can do at home, a lot of things we can make out of stuff around our house or that we can acquire very cheaply or for free, and that can provide feed for our plants, right? So you don't have to worry about that. Growmaster Flash, I personally feel yes. I personally feel I can instantly, from smelling, tasting, looking, inspecting, I can tell the difference between organically grown cannabis and salt-based cannabis. Yeah, I would say, would I be perfect at it? No, no one's perfect, but I would say I'd probably get it right 7 to 9 times out of 10. Honestly, it's funny that you asked that because we've actually done that in my groups of friends. We've actually done that where we'll bring things in and then we'll test each other, right? And we'll see who can get it right. And I always won. So I've actually played that way with my friends. So yeah, I personally feel quite confident in my ability to do that. Good question, by the way. You know what? Growmaster Flash, that's a dope question. I want to say that's one of the better questions I've had in a while. I like that. Because I don't know if anyone's ever asked me that in the show like that. Good question, bud. I dig it. I dig it. Your boy Roy says, that was super clever. Cheers at Mrs. K. Hell yeah, right? Trichrome's Roxy Sox says, hiya, Pots. Just a question. Have anyone you know used Green Planet Backcountry line? Is it a newer line? Because I'm a Green Planet guy. I've played with most of their products. I don't know if I've played with their backcountry line, though. I don't even know, to be honest, if I knew it existed. Because, I mean, I've played with so many of their products now that I just know what I'm going to the store to get, and I just go buy those things now. No, I don't think I've played with that, nor have I heard anyone. This is the first time I've heard the name Backcountry line. How about this? I will look it up, and I will... Oh, technically, I got my computer right here. Let's see if I can quickly pull this up. Dear Internet. Give me a second here, everybody. Back country line. Green Planet. Go. Backcountry, it's a dry amendment set. Outdoor-based nutrient formulated for vegetative growth. It comes in 3 different sizes. Okay. I'm assuming they've got not just for vegetative sequence. Here's another picture. I think it's showing me all of them. Okay, so I'm just reading about it. So no, I definitely haven't played with any of these things. It looks like they do have pieces for all... Yo, shush, I'm in a show, dude. It does look like they have pieces for all parts of life of the plant. It's a dry amendment, so it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper. It's going to... Little goes a long way with that kind of stuff. So I haven't played with it, but I will say I can positively affirm that it'll be a good product because I truly believe in Green Planet as a company, and I don't believe that they would release something that's shit, honestly. So, thank you, I Spy Cannabis. Thank you. I couldn't remember how many gallons were in that thing. What's up, Malta? How's it going, Larry? Guys, no, dude, this is going to piss me off, guys. You just went for a walk before the show. Sorry. Everybody, I'm going for a dart in the washroom to avoid the dogs annoying me. They'll go lie down, and then I can continue the show. No. Single dad, dog life problems, you know. But hello, back to Malta. The light's on here. There we go. Not that that changed anything, really, it seems. Monsanto is a nasty, nasty corporation. Jonathan, I wholeheartedly agree with you. So William Pritchard, anything that is a soil-bound pest that is propagating in your soil. I mean, there's a lot of sprays, there's a lot of natural sprays, but a lot of those natural sprays, yes, I'm pissing during the live stream. Sorry, this is a thing we've done for years called live stream during the live stream, everybody. I apologize. Diuretics happen. The number one thing, William Pritchard, to use for any form, in my humble 2 cents, of soil-bound pests that are propagating in your soil, the best thing to use is beneficial nematodes, okay? I'm a huge advocate for beneficial nematodes. Typically, the beneficial nematodes that I'm going to go to, my company of choice, okay, is Pot Poppers. They are available from Amazon. They used to be fairly more affordable. They're a little more expensive now, but Pot Poppers are the shiznit. Beneficial nematodes are the best way to kill anything that's propagating in your soil. They're going to pass through that larval body of the propagating, earlier generation of that pest. It's going to kill them, and then it's going to break their body down, creating food, okay, for the beneficial nematodes to keep feeding on. So that is the best thing to do. I would avoid certain types of sprays because that could kill off any of the beneficials that you have in your soil, like, any microbial secondaries that are going good. Jonathan, good question. Photos versus autos. Can I tell the difference? I would say, yeah, I'd probably say could. I don't think I would be as effective at picking a photo in this modern day and age. Back in the day, I would have been easy. Instantly, I could tell an auto. It's just weak. But autos have come a long way in this modern day and age. So I would say I think I could probably be pretty good at guessing the two too. But I do think it would be harder with modern auto flowering genetics the way that they currently exist. Rather, if you were to compare them back to sort of the first commercially available auto flowering genetics like lowrider number 1, lowrider number 2 from the joint doctor, or going to a traditional third special, ruderalis sort of instance, I still think I would do pretty well at that. But at the same time, it would be a hell of a lot harder now. They've come a long way than back in the day. What's up, Dark Delight? How you doing, my friend? Sorry, everybody. I'm just hiding from the dogs so they don't keep barking at my ass. Once they calm down, we can go back out there and hopefully keep doing the show without them yelling at me. Sometimes we do this show for like 2 or 3 hours, and it's only like 46 minutes in right now. And I'm like, man, that would suck if they just keep going. Lost Coast Plant Therapy, never used it, but I have heard about it though. Definitely a good product from the reports that I've heard from people. Yeah, no, exactly, Jonathan. The only slow release anything would be like bone meal or like eggshells is a slow release, a form of releasing cannabis or cannabis, calcium for your cannabis. I would make a tea. So that tea then, gives an initial boost of calcium. And then strain it and put those eggshells that you've strained off into your soil. Blop Jones, I mean, a lot of those small hand spin trimmers, I hate those, not a big fan. I will say if you've got a very expensive trimming machine or set of trimming machines like Dave from Trim Test and Press it does a surprisingly better job than I thought. I will also say that cannabis that basically is, or hand trimmed cannabis can compare to a machine trimmed cannabis that would come off of like Dave's machine. There's basically no difference in the final product's active cannabinoid levels. It's more of a presentation thing. I am a hand trimmer myself when it comes to my crops, but I'm not a fan of those spin cannabis spinner thingies at all. So Bob Jones, if you do a fully, truly organic way of growing, you don't need to flush. Oh, you don't, Jonathan. A properly done composted organic grow. We're not using organic products, by the way. Like what I'm talking about, we're not talking about buying organic things from a company. We're talking about making your own compost, making your own living soils, making your own things like this. If you do that, you don't need to flush. There's no added salt to it, right? And all we're doing with the flush is we're removing salt from our root medium. Sorry, everybody, I'm just reading. Bear with me. Yeah, so Jonathan, beneficial nematodes, I put beneficial nematodes into everything. I put beneficial nematodes into my seedlings. I put beneficial, when I transplant, I put beneficial nematodes in. It's just a thing I do now. That is the only thing, I'll put it to you this way. The best way to prevent pests in your grow is preventative, okay? Being smart. The number one best way is just being so careful about what you bring into your grow. But using beneficial nematodes at all times, at all points of life for your plant is the shit. And it's the biggest thing you can do to be successful and protect yourself from pests getting out of control or being a thing. Yo, what's up, Sir Chugs a lot? How did it go, buddy? How did it go? No, first outdoor? Hell yeah, buddy. How did it go? I feel you, Miss K. I'm a perfectionist, so I definitely don't hippie trim my shit. I get up in it. I want it looking perfect. But I'm an anal retentive dick when it comes to certain things, right? So Hell yeah, buddy. How's the new bong treating you, Malice the Paladin? Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much, Malice the Paladin. It's a good chain. I picked it up at the custom independent jeweler down the road. A little family run little operation there, you know what I'm saying? They good people. They good people. I got my bracelet there too. And a lot of my rings actually. Not this ring or this ring actually. Never mind. None of the rings I'm wearing came from that jeweler, but I have rings from that jeweler. Much what the whole you got to remember though, like super hydrating to actually like break up those salts and remove them from the soil medium, and then sucking that right out of our runoff is a big thing, honestly. So it's not just watering. Like I've done that too, and I find a difference. So I will say that when using a salt-based nutrient line, doing a flush is important. There's a lot of people these days, and it's an argument that happens with like a lot of us who've been doing this for a very long time, and it's an ongoing argument right now about whether flushing you have to do it. Everyone's like it's bro science. Well, one, it's literally not. We've proven the reality. Like, but I will say a lot of guys are arguing that with certain ways of approaching it, you don't have to flush it out, and it's just nailing your curing process, and that'll fix it. I disagree with that. I've played with that, and there is merit to that argument. Like there's merit that like yeah, you can definitely effectively change a lot of stuff with how you're curing it, how you're drying it, doing all of that. But doing the same process on both plants, where one is flushed though, the superior smoke always comes from the flushed product. Hey, thank you, Malice, the Paladin. Much love, brother. You rock as well, my friend. Keep it blinging and keeping it sexy, keeping it Potsquatch, brother. You know what I'm saying? Gotta keep it real. Ooh. Vegan prophet, flat earth moon dancing with fish. Interesting name. I'll give you that. No, no, stop, guys. It didn't work. The dogs are still excitable. But I like the joke, though. If I don't flush, I get in trouble. I used to get in trouble if I did not flush, but divorce cured that. I still flush, though. You've been through two marriages. There's certain habits you stop doing. Here, let me give them a cookie. Give me a second, guys. I'm just going to give the dogs a cookie. What do good puppies do? They sit, they sit, they sit. Stay. There you go. All right. We've given the dogs treats. We'll see how long that keeps them shut up. Eugene Dillon says, Mudswat, the teaspoon of Epsom salt to a gallon of water that you recommend in the last show is working. Fair play. So teaspoon to a gallon of water is good, but you can go up to a tablespoon of Epsom salts on your plants. So a teaspoon is great. And remember how I've always said, you can feed your plants in the long run as much as you want, but you got to work them up to it, okay? Take your time to introduce feeds and feed levels to your plant. So start with that teaspoon. I would say as you further go, you can then incorporate a tablespoon and step it up. So there's three teaspoons to a tablespoon. So you're basically adding an extra 66.6% or whatever the fuck it is. I'm just reading to make sure I haven't missed anything inadvertently. And for those of you who may or may not be new here, feel free to ask any questions. Questions are always allowed. Interacting with the show, interacting with me. We are a show where we do our darndest and have always done our darndest in our live stream shows to speak and talk to everybody. And I miss stuff sometimes, especially back in the day. Like there was times where back in the day we would have like 140 people in the show going, and everyone's talking, and I would try so hard in order to read everything, but I would miss some things. And, so long story short, though, I will do my darndest. And who said it? I think it was that guy, Channel 2, or someone else was like, yo, type your question in capitals. If you type in all caps, it is easier for me to notice a question. And, we've been doing this almost, let me think here now. I'd have to do the math exactly, but like 7 or 8 years at least on YouTube, maybe longer. Um, and it's only taken that long for me to go, you know what? Yeah. If you type your questions in capitals, it'll be easier for me to see them. What's up, Alex Mullins? Alex Mullins says, what's good, Squatch? Do you taste a difference in smoke from a synthetic grown flower or an organic grown flower? Thanks for your input. Well, yeah, I definitely think that there's a difference in taste for sure. Um, would I say one is more positive than the other? No. I think there is a difference, though, and I don't think the difference is a negative thing, really, to be honest with you. Like, let's be honest, if you want, and this is gonna get me in hot water with some people, but again, it's a debate as old as time. Not maybe not as old as time, but in the cannabis world of organics versus synthetics, right? So some people are diehard organic only people. Some people are diehard salt based people. Some people like me exist in both worlds. Typically, though, I'm more of a salt based start with an organic augmentation. Um, and I would say there's a little bit of a difference, sometimes no difference at all. I'd say the real difference you're going to see, though, between organic and salt-based nutrients is in your flower formation, your end weight, your end yield. Typically, you're going to have a better yield, you're going to have a better end weight, you're going to have a better flower structure in terms of the limited time window of your flower window on a photo period with a salt-based nutrient system that's dialed in and killing it. I will also say that doing organics properly, doing your own composts, and then augmenting and changing your recipes in order to cater to different genetics and different phenos and different blah 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 blah, is a hell of a lot harder with organics than it is with using like a 3-base system with then 4 or 5 other secondaries that you're utilizing. If you are using a salt-based system, and I'm an advocate for flushing personally, so if you don't flush, like there's definitely a stark taste because I can taste that, right? Your ash is typically going to burn quite dark and this or that. If you've done everything else properly, that'll still remain, and there'll be a weird taste to it. Where with organics, like a true organic run, you're not going to run into that. When both are perfectly executed, it's very hard to tell the difference, I feel. But I will say it's not hard to tell the difference in terms of final yield and flower structure for show. What's up, Growing with a Twist? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you, DLC OG, for checking that for me. I was trying to do it from memory. I was trying to say, fuck, what year did we start doing this? I know our anniversary is coming up. Actually, everybody, our anniversary on YouTube, our 1-year anniversary, or annual anniversary, it's been more than 1 year. DLC said it's 8, is August 10th. August 10th, we will have been doing this for a good time. No worries, Eugene Dolan. Well, Zach Davis, maybe we so stoned sometime we feel like it's been centuries. You know what I'm saying? The only thing to remember, DLSKOG, is I used the 3-part from General Hydroponics for many years. I was a diehard General Hydroponics fan. They are now owned by Miracle Grow, so it's the same company as Miracle Grow. So where the product is still good, ethically I don't use it anymore. So I when they got bought out, I ethically couldn't use it anymore. So that's when I switched to being a Green Planet man. Hell yeah, worm castings is definitely the shit, man. Sir Chug's lot. I will say, Alex, anyone who's well adjusted salt based grower will usually go toe to toe and typically will win in a taste test and a smoke test against organic flower. And then also with like, here's a meme that I laughed really hard at. I saw years ago, and it's just grower humor, and it was like, what was it exactly? So it was like salt so or organics versus salt based, and so the organics was like a picture of a little chihuahua, and like this is the salt base was like this just jacked dog. Like with I can't remember what type of dog the other dog was, but well, I legitimately laughed out loud on that one, and it is a true reality. There is a difference when it comes to flower formation and final yield. Um, but it's like I said, both worlds are just as valid, right? I think maybe part of my issue with people who advocate organicness um, isn't the fact that they're advocating for organic grows. It's that they're elitist and they're kind of cunty about it, right? And it's just like, well, like I'll put my salt-based flour up against your organic flour any day, and I've been doing this for a really long time, and I'll win. So I'm not saying I'll beat everybody, but like I'll beat most people. And it's like so, and it's like I don't care how you do it. There's 1,001 highways to the end destination. You could do whatever fits you as a grower. Like that's the best way to do it, man. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever makes you happy, and if you're happy and you're successful, then that's what's important. But like shitting on one of the avenues is just stupid. Now you're just shitting on a street that someone's walking down. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that's been part of my reaction over the years to some of the advocates for straight organic grows is because there is an elitism, there is a condescension or a quote unquote cuntiness to it. And it's just like, yeah, man, no. Wake now, that can't be real, bro. Really? I've got to share this one. So Wake now says, I started a new job and almost got fired today for telling my friend who came in to have a good day. Management said I'm demanding people to have a good day, and now it's discrimination. That is the dumbest, stupidest thing I've ever heard. Here's how you fix that. Say, I hope you have a wonderful day, or I hope you have a good day. Now you're not demanding anything. You're just saying, I hope you enjoy yourself. Then they can't say shit. And if they keep trying to, then get a new employer because that's ridiculous. Nice. Now, Mad Monkey, I've always found Fox Farm soil to be, as well as Green Frog or whatever the hell it's called, quite hot. And that's where I've never been a huge fan. Plus, like, I mean, they're quite expensive. But it's still a decent soil, though. And again, I got a lot of friends who love Gaia Green amendments. You know, I'm not a Gaia Green man myself in that I've honestly never played with it much. I could totally see myself incorporating small amounts of it though on top of what I already do for show. Hell yeah, Zach Davis. Been around a hot minute. How you liking the switch to the cocoa, Mad Monkey? Wait, now you got to remember that's not Canada. Don't make a generalized statement of Canada. Canada is still one of the only safe havens of true humanity in existence left, man. We're blessed to live in this country. It sounds like you're just working for some monkey Gen Z stupid company right now. Um, so I wouldn't read into it. If they want to fire you over that, good riddance. Yo, Alvin Mace, good to see you, man. It's been a hot minute. We do definitely need to catch up at some point. From March to right now, I've been growing my giants for the last 6 months before the end of the season. Will I have a good harvest in the next few months? Would you think? If they're the giant strain you told me about and they are getting absolutely huge, then I would say you're probably going to have a very decent yield there, my friend Alvin. It's just people being pissy. Don't read into it, Wake now. Don't let it bring you down, bud. Nah, humanity's still alive and well. Humanity's still alive and well. Just because a small percentage of humanity is stupid and pissing you off does not mean we're lost. It's okay. Nothing's dead. Sorry, everybody. I'm still reading. Growing with a Twist says, just got my banana bubblegum freak pollinated with my berry truffle freak. All right. There we go, buddy. I mean, to my understanding, the whole point of Gaia Green is it's a non-salt based line, hence the name Gaia Green. But I could be wrong on that too. I haven't looked into the actual 444 product that I'd have to look at it and read up on it. What's up, Vic Victor? Good to see you, buddy. I agree with you, Sir Chugs a lot. Sorry, I'm just reading everybody. I'm just gonna pull the phone closer. It's easier. Hell yeah, Derek Richards. That sounds like you're having a fun, wonderful experience. And that's what I love to hear, right? I don't want anyone to advocate one way or the highway, as it were, right? Because that's just wrong. And when people, like, for example, right? Like, I started off as a salt based guy, and then I spent many years doing organic things and playing with super soils and all these types of different things. And then eventually I've migrated back to predominantly a salt based sort of world. But Derek says I've only done 5 harvests, but they were all organic outdoor. This year I'm trying to do a tent setup with FloraFlex. It's actually been pretty nice. No deficiencies, a nice structure. The smells are really coming out. Hell yeah. Like, I mean, dude, Derek, again, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad things are being successful and kicking ass and taking names for you, bud. You know, and at the end of the day, you know, as long as you're happy and having fun, that is the most important thing there, man. Okay, everyone, not something's wrong with people now. Some people, yes. The thing you got to remember is, in my humble 2 cents, we as a society, okay, we go through cycles. It happens every 10 or 20 years. Mostly 20 years. Let's give it a 20-year cycle where things happen. Basic conceptual ideas repeat. They get regurgitated, reimagined. We all disagree on certain things, and a certain subsect of the population is going to get pissy about something. The whole idea of politically correct, foundationally, is a beautiful, wonderful thing, okay? Inclusivity, not ostracizing people, making people feel okay and safe and wonderful is a great concept, okay? It's not a bad thing. But there are some people that have taken it too far in terms of how it's gone. But again, it's not a doomsday thing. It's just a natural cycle. We're gonna swing back around. We always bloody do. It happens on all fronts. So humanity's not fucked. Humanity's just evolving. Growing pains suck. Growing pains are a thing. Okay, that's all that's happening in society right now. So you know what? Don't let it get to you. Keep your ethics and morals on straight. Do your best to be a good person. Care about yourself and others around you. Do your best to be a good person. Everything's going to work out just fine, everybody. Hell yeah, Derek Richards. Fuck yeah, bud. I'm congratulations on your promotion at work, my friend. I don't know what you do. I don't know what the promotion is, but I hope it comes with a fat pay raise and more respect. Proud of you, buddy. Good job, man. Oh, no, for sure. And that's the thing, Alex Mullins, right? Like, there are benefits to doing hydroponic systems and aquaponic systems, and you'll see sort of notable differences between the two. But at the end of the day, the best tasting cannabis, I will say, typically comes from soil-grown cannabis. 12 feet, Alvin? Damn, those some big plants. Yeah, you're going to have a weed titty or two, my friend. But that's okay. You smoke a lot of weed, man, so that's good. That's good for you. Big roots, big fruits. I agree, growing with a twist. More roots, more fruits, baby. Microzai inoculants, everybody. Everybody should be using them. But we're not talking about intelligence. And to be fair, Mudswat, I wouldn't say that a majority of the world is unintelligent these days. I would say a majority of the world is uneducated. That's what I would say. I don't think people are stupid. I think they're uneducated and moronic. Being a moron or uneducated doesn't mean you're not intelligent. It just means that our education systems and the way that we've allowed society to teach and quote unquote grow people is the issue. I wouldn't say people are stupid. I would say they're uneducated. I would say by and large, the human race is actually quite intelligent, especially when it comes to emotional intelligence. But emotional intelligence, for example, and empathy and compassion and actual awareness of self and society and those around you and how you carry yourself has been twisted and fucked up. That's my thoughts on it. Don't worry, everybody who's new. We are a growing show. We're just stoners, so we talk about things. Yeah, Daleski, ash can definitely be used. Go very light though. Less is more, but less is more. For example, when like in different sort of tribal farming practices where they would burn things down to then utilize as fertilizers, not only would they like seriously mix that in, dig it in, and mix it up with that growing plot, they would also let it sit for an extended period of time before they would use it again. So yeah, just be careful, buddy. Joshua, good name. That's my name too. I'm a beginner grower. I have like 8 plants growing. Not bad. Okay. I just noticed today that there is little insects on one of the plants. How to kill them? Okay. So Joshua, what do you know? What kind of insect it is? Are you growing outside or inside? I need some more information, and then I can try to help you, my friend Joshua, my fellow namesake. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it after the show today, Alvin, because I do have to go meet up with someone after the show, but I will do my darndest to at least get a quick call in as soon as I can. I'm still reading, by the way, everybody. Catching up. That makes sense, Zach Davis. Yeah, Mike Gem. I mean, I've been reading about some of the weird far right protests that are happening, and I've only read briefly of what's going on in the UK, but I've heard some interesting stories of what's going down. To be fair, though, okay, not that terrorism is ever a good thing, because it's not. It's horrible. It's scary, and I don't like violence or the harm of human life. But I will say, as horrible as it is, I did have a mild chuckle when I was reading in the news that there's been terrorist threats to a Taylor Swift concert. To be fair, I mean the what does she call it? The Eras tour or whatever, like biggest fucking tour that's ever happened. So like, I mean, I get it. If I was a terrorist, that makes sense. Like the like, you know, they're targeting something that is so public. Like, I mean, I get it, and that's how it always works: shock and awe and fear, and trying to fear the populace and stuff. But I will also say though that it was two children. It was an 18-year-old and a 17-year-old who were radicalized by extremist ideologies, and they didn't even have the stuff to do it. Like, they had part of it. So yeah, it was a real threat, and the intent was there, but at the same time, like, again, they weren't even educated enough to know what they were doing, and they were children. Anyway, sorry, that's not what this show's about. I'm just talking about the news, and I read that earlier today, and it was interesting. um, no, Chris, you could definitely grow outdoors in Canada. British Columbia is not the greatest climate for growing outdoors. I have grown outdoors over the years a little bit. I've helped with a lot of outdoor grows. I am not an outdoor grower. British Columbia predominantly isn't a great place to grow outdoors. There's a reason why we led the indoor grow explosion and developed indoor pot. It was also a shitty climate combined with, you know, illegality, really, but and social stigma. So I have, but yeah, I have fucked around with outdoors. So in Sweden, if it's similar to Canada and Sweden, I'm actually part Swedish, actually, by the way, Chris. Um, if you have a similar climate to ours, then I would say just stick to outdoors. If it's like here in BC, where you've got or other places where you have a bit of a shorter growing window, I would say go with doing an autoflower. Not an auto guy, but I mean, they have their uses in the cannabis world. So running some autos outdoors ain't a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? So Kelly, restarting after spider mites, what to clean, what to do I replace, what am I likely to fuck up? Well, hopefully nothing. First of all, hopefully you fuck up nothing. In terms of after spider mites, you need to get rid of all medium, anything that is a hard surfaced area or a piece of equipment, anything that's porous, get rid of. Scrub down with bleach. Scrub down with bleach. Um, and that'll kill any form of eggs or other things that are living there. Jake's All-in-One is a product that I've used, and it's great as a room treatment spray. You do got to go through and wash it off because it's got a canola base to it as well, which is a natural insecticide. But typically speaking, wash anything and everything you can get on. All air vents, all lights, everything. You got to wipe it down, use a bleach solution, and clean the fuck out of it. If you feel like you did a good job cleaning it, do it again and then go. And then also going forward, brand new soil, brand new anything like that. Anything that could potentially have been contaminated, you need to get rid of. Or if it's something that's like a hard surface reality that you can clean with a heavy duty bleach, then do that. I've never worked with Lost Coast Plant Therapy. I would feel it's probably a similar-ish basic concept to Jake's All-in-One. If you go on Google and Google Jake's All-in-One, it is one of the greatest products I've ever seen in my life. Jonathan, it was funny. That was funny. That was funny. Dirks Can, have you seen KJ Strap the movie? I don't think so. Is it a good one? Oh, Joshua, fungus gnats, boom. One, fungus gnats are annoying. They're not going to harm your crop, really. They will rob you a smidgen on your yield, but the easiest and most beneficial way, one of the earliest pests that I ever battled publicly was fungus gnats. I have a lot of videos on fungus gnats back in the day. If you go back and watch them, like that's early Potsquatch, but it was some of our first big videos. I hate fungus gnats with a passion. Beneficial nematodes, okay? Get yourself some beneficial nematodes. If you have access to Amazon, go on Amazon, see if you can get pot poppers. Those are my favorite. That's my go-to brand. I don't know if it's available everywhere. It's available where I am. But, most beneficial nematode brands will have something that'll take care of a fungus gnat. Beneficial nematodes are microscopic worms, okay, that are going to go through the larval state of the fungus gnat. They're going to kill it, shred its body apart, break it down, and make food for the other nematodes to feast upon. That's right. Not only will the nematodes kill them, but they'll feast upon the corpses of their victims. So if it's just fungus gnats, one, not a huge panicky thing. Beneficial nematodes, that's how you get it done. Adults are going to lay more things, and so a lot of people worry about, sticky traps or doing this to deal with the adults. I'm not someone who even worries about that anymore. Yeah, sure, okay, cool. You've got one generation of adults left. I just introduced beneficial nematodes. They're going to lay some more eggs. Those are going to turn into another larval state, and then I'm going to kill those too because my nematodes are going to keep living. So don't even worry about attacking the adults. Kill the children. That's how you get rid of them. Take out the initial next generation in its larval state in the soil with beneficial nematodes, and that's how you do it. I hope that helps, Joshua. This Joshua hates fungus gnats too, so I feel you, buddy. Kind buds and dank nugs. For example, Jake's All-in-One can be used in flour, for example. It's all organic. I've used Jake's All-in-One as a foliar pest spray as late as I want to say like week 7 or 8, to be honest with you, on like something that ran like 9.5 or 10 weeks. The thing to remember with these types of things that are technically safe to use in flour, right? You're going to need to bud wash when you're done. So you're going to have to bud wash your crop, H2O2 with water, and then just fresh, clean water. Shake it off really good before you hang it up to dry. But it is going to damage some of your pistils. You're going to have pistil damage with them. So when you spray that way, there will be some pistil damage. You're going to notice premature shrinking of your pistils, and that's not a big deal unless you're breeding, okay? But that is just a reality. I don't know who Vision Creator or Roberts Creek Congo is, but hello. uh, when it comes to bud rot, everybody, the second you see bud rot, you have to amputate. So let's say your bud rot site is here. Amputate that, and then go down a few inches and amputate there, and then also go through, defoliate, air movement. Rot is happening. It's setting in. It will spread. So you got to amputate. Then you got to break it down, increase airflow, and watch your crops. Ozone generators are technically effective. I wouldn't say they're good. They're dangerous, and I just wouldn't. But no, you're not wrong, Chris. They're effective. I wouldn't say they're good, but they're effective. They're definitely effective. I'll say that. Alex Mullins. I mean, I don't have one favorite strain. Things that I've done over the years on the channel that I've loved. The bubblegum indica that I ran a bunch of times and kept cloning. That one has been lost, but I do have some seeds of it still. So it's not really lost. Will I find the pheno that I loved, though? That, who knows? Master Kush, hash plant. Hash plant's gone. Master Kush Northern Lights was a cross that I did years ago. That was an amazing strain. That's gone. Could I recreate it? Yes. King's Kush. I loved that. There's this purple phenotype of that one. I've still got some of those beans. But I wouldn't say I have a favorite strain. I have things that I love and that are my favorites. But I don't think I could narrow it down to just one. Kelly, you can most certainly clean a tent well enough, 100%. Just whip out the bleach, my friend. You'll be good to go. Just make sure you break it down, scrub the living shit out of it, and then repeat. But you can definitely clean it well enough for show. I mean, you're not wrong in basic nature, Mudswat, but you also got to remember, though, that Jake's All-in-One is also a foliar feed. It's an immune system booster, and there's a lot of other shit in Jake's All-in-One. Like, it's not just a pest control. It kills powdery mildew. It kills fungus. It treats powdery mildew infections almost instantly. It's insane. And there's a lot of things in it. I actually know everything that's in it because I'm friends with Jake from Jake's All-in-One, and he's shared with me. So I'm not going to reveal to you the recipe because he actually has a patent on all of that. But arguably the best product out there that will not only take care of pests, but it'll take care of PM. It'll also work as a foliar feed, an immune system booster. Jake's All-in-One, 100%. It's a local Canadian product made in BC. What's up, Freedom Grower? Sorry, everybody, I'm just reading now. Yeah, beneficial nematodes are the way to go, though, for fungus gnats, everybody. And like I said, don't even worry about the adults. Take care of the larval state, and then you've now propagated a population of beneficial nematodes within your grow, and then that'll keep going and be good to go. Neem oil doesn't really work as much anymore. Neem oil, a lot of pests and pest variants around the world have become resistant to neem oil. Again, everybody, please remember, neem oil is only to be used in vegetative state. It is highly toxic when heated and releases toxic fumes. Do not spray your plants down in flower with neem. It's a no-no. The second you do that, you got to scrap it. Bear Cook. Hey, man, I just brushed a noose. I was just checking the shirt on. I don't know, Bear. I don't even know if I fully understand what you're saying. Can you try typing that again? Hey, man, I just brushed a noose. I was just checking the shirt on. What? I had this bridge dreamed that the time does pee, bro. These foreign people are coming into Canada to start a new lifestyle, bro, I think. Yeah, dude, we're a country of immigrants, everybody in Canada. Immigration's not bad. I'm an immigrant. Anyone else who is in Canada at some point, even Indigenous people, were immigrants at some point. They came across a land bridge. Yes, some tribes say, no, we were always here. No, that's bullshit. We've even proven it genetically that if you go back 30 some odd thousand years, there's genetic markers over there that you came from somewhere else. We're all immigrants here. Our strength as Canada is immigration. We would be a shrinking country without immigration. The problem with immigration in this country and a lot of countries right now is we're just taking on too many too quickly. We don't have the infrastructure for it. So we have to adjust that and think about that. But, immigration's not the problem, everybody. How we're approaching it and lack of infrastructure, that's our problem. But, so just remember that, everybody. Sorry, everybody, I'm still reading now. Mike L., it does not hurt the plant. There's a lot of old school thought that you're like, oh my God, you're cutting off all of this. No, when we defoliate, what we're doing is we're actually controlling the plant where it's directing energy. We're controlling the plant to where it's going to grow. We're controlling the plant where it's focusing energy. And those secondary, smaller fan leaves will then grow into becoming bigger ones. So we do an initial pluck, then we use selective defoliation to control and map and force our plant to do what we want. It's a positive thing. You're not hurting the plant at all. Yes, Kelly, I agree with that. Clean your snips before as well. Chris, yes. So auto-flowering seeds were first commercialized by the Joint Doctor. Those were the first commercially available auto-flowering strains. The auto-flowering gene itself comes from the third species of cannabis, which is called ruderalis. Typically, the Lowrider number 1 and 2 were the first commercially marketed and available auto-flowering seeds, and they're where the genetic for all modern day auto-flowering genetics has come from. And it was done by one man. His name was the Joint Doctor. Look him up. He was a gangster. No worries, Alex Mullins. I can't actually remember off the top of my head, but I have bottles of it here. So let's grab a bottle of Jake's and let's see what it says. And then I'll see. I haven't used it in so long. There we go. Jake's all-in-one. Okay. Here's directions. We'll just read you there. Shake well. In a clean container, mix 40 to 50 milliliters of concentrate with 1 liter of warm water, pH, blah, 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 blah. Spray plants for fog room. Shake during use. That's for pests. So for killing pests, yeah. So it's like 40 to 50 milliliters of concentrate with 1 liter of warm water. Typically, he's recommending pHing your water. I never did that when I used it. But you know, for treating like PM, you don't need to go that heavily. For PM, I would say 20 to 25 milliliters. For a preventative generalized spray in early veg, I would do maybe 15 or 20 milliliters to a liter of water. For a foliar feed and immunobooster, 10 milliliters to a liter of water, right? But so that's a general thing. And that's more so for we're killing bugs. But yeah. Hell yeah. Go Jake's all-in-one. Woohoo! Jake's all-in-one. It's the shit. Oh, it's cost-effective, Bunswat. A little goes a long way with Jake's. Sorry, everybody. I'm still reading. Peace and love, Miss K. I hope you have a wonderful day. Good to see you. Exactly, Jansen. That's a good way to put it. I like that. You should be able to. And I'll put it to you this way, Mudswat. I'll put it to you this way. Worst case scenario, if you can't find it for not like a bajillion dollars, talk to me privately. I'll get you a bottle of it and I'll send it to you. And we'll figure out a way to make that work. Hey, no worries, Joshua. Much love, bro. Your boy, Roy. Yes, we are on Instagram. I don't use it a lot. We used to have more followers than we do, but I've never been a huge guy on the Insta, but I'm on the Insta technically. Potsquatch Growers on Instagram. I think I'm a public thing, so I don't have to like let you follow me. I'm pretty sure you can just come to my page and look at my shit. So, but yeah, I'm on the Instagram. A lot of the pictures on there, I had like a really, really big beard. So, like, if you see a really big bearded bald dude, that is me. I just live in the big city now, and I have to be pretty to make it, so I have to keep it all groomed. Sorry, sometimes I find myself quite funny. Yeah. Good times. I'm excited for this next grow, though, everybody. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very excited for the blue cheese by Girl Scout Cookies. And the thing is I'm really excited because even though they're starting out with some weird, floopy little weird foliar development on my fan leaves, that is so classically indicative of a young cheese plant. That means, from in my humble 2 cents, though, at least in terms of my structure that I'm seeing. Live stream during the live stream again. Sorry, everybody. If you're new here, this is just a thing. Diuretics happen. It's been happening for years. But the foliar development on these plants is so floopy that it is a good indicator that there's going to be a very strong cheesy nature to these plants, which I'm excited about. So as long as there's a good strong blue cheese, like a blue cheese nature, that's really what I'm wanting in my flavor. That's really what I'm wanting for the taste and the smell. Really genetically, all I'm wanting from the Girl Scout cookies typically is I just want the flower formation, okay, and the structure and the bag appeal, really. Because like I'm not a huge fan of Girl Scout cookies in terms of the smoke and the taste of it, to be fair. But I will say I am a fan of its flower development, its structure, and how it develops its buds. So that's where like I'm really excited about these new next plants. We've got 3 of them going. One of them is so floopy that I'm just curious to see what it's going to do. The other 2 are doing quite well now. I actually gave them their first little seedling feed the other day. And because I was noticing that even from germination, they were quite light and they seemed to be quite hungry. And I was like, you know what? I normally wouldn't feed this early, but it's been 2 weeks, so 2 and a bit weeks. So like, you know what? Let's risk it. Let's take a little feed on and see how they react. And they've reacted very positively to it. So we just gave them the Green Planet 3-part system, mostly the grow, a little bit of micro, and just a dash of the flour. And then I put also a little bit of their ProCal in there as well, which is a calcium magnesium supplement. Very, very, very minimal though. Just a little squirt, little squirt, little squirt, little squirt. And then we just watered a little bit, because again, don't overlove or overwater your seedlings, right? Like, the number one thing that a lot of new growers do is they overlove their seedlings and their baby plants. Don't overlove your plants when they're young. No, don't overlove them anytime. But it's much more forgiving once they've, kind of grown a bit. These were at a little bit over 2 weeks now. They're having now their first set of trifoliates really taking in. So that would put them at, if we count a bicuspid as a nodal layer, which I have mixed feelings on. We're not going to count the bicuspid layer, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. So they're on the third nodal layer now, a little over 2 weeks. So we gave them a little feed there. And it really perked them up and really changed the coloration that we're seeing on their foliar realities and their development. And so now I'm starting to get excited. I'm like, all right, cool. You're a little wonky, but you're starting to settle out into yourselves a little bit. Gave you some feed. You're digging it, and I'm stoked to see where these plants end up going, man. I tell you. Yes. So Alex Mullins, 100%. Typically, I stress my plants out throughout their entire life sequence. I start in solo cups typically, which is the little red, party cups. I'll let them root lock. I'll let them start self-cannibalizing their first nodal layer or 2. I do high stress training. I do low stress training. I let them dry out to the point of where it's almost too much. Then I'll super hydrate, bring it back. I'll cut out certain feeds, then reintroduce them right before it becomes an issue. I utilize microagitation, which is a technique where you use a pin to prick all the branches, which is now simulating a bug attacking it. Terps, trikes, cannabinoids, these are all self-defense mechanisms of the plant. So by synthesizing the plant, thinking it's under attack, we're going to boost the production of all of these elements. So yes, I am a huge advocate to utilizing plant stress to get a better thing. And I can tell you 100% plus another 100%, it guarantee you it makes higher terp profiles, higher cannabinoids, and it gets you more out of what you're doing, especially when you're utilizing it properly. We can do that in a second. I'll do that once I finish this dart deal ski. We'll hop in there. I hope that answers your question, Alex Mullins. By the way, I mean, look, I'm not saying I'm the end all be all at all. I'm just an educated idiot who has proven to be fairly successful and may or may not be quite revered by many in a part of the world where some of the best growers exist. I'm but a humble idiot who knows things. But I didn't. I started this channel because I'm a self-taught grower. I taught myself everything. I was the son of two priests. I didn't come from a weed family. I didn't have people to teach me how to do this shit. I've been growing now for 24 years. Geez, I'm getting old now. But back in the day when I started the channel, there was so much misinformation on the internet. It was so hard to get started for people. And then I saw what other people on YouTube were doing and how exclusionary or mean or stupid or bullying was going on. I was like, well, fuck that. So I started my own channel to try to at least give a safe place for people to get real information, real shit that's legit. I'm not going to tell you to do something unless I've tried, tested it, and know it. And if it's something that is more of a theory, then I'm more theorizing on something I'm aware of, but have never tried myself, I'll tell you that too. I'll always give you my humble 2 cents and give you the best shit I can. Do I use reverse osmosis water? Not anymore. Vegan, profit, flat earth, moon, dancing with fish. I used to use a reverse osmosis system. I also used that with a realkalining, remineralizing finish filter after it went through the reverse osmosis process. Yeah, reverse osmosis water is great, especially for people living in a place with a really high ppm or with a lot of heavy metals or other types of things that are existing within their natural water source. But it does strip your water of all natural secondary minerals, which are so important to your plant. So you've got to reintroduce those somehow. Do I use it now? No. But I have in the past. Earlier on, Lab 1, I was using RO water. If you want to call me Dr. Potsquatch, you can. I mean, if you want. For me, it's a little weird just because it gets very similar to Dr. Squatch, who makes soap. But I don't mind if you do. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. Daleski OG, that sounds about right. It's not until sort of roughly at least 2 weeks that they begin really requiring kind of the more elements of a bloom. Dirks can. If you're talking about using organic products versus salt-based products that are all purchased products, I'm a salt-based guy. It's a hell of a lot easier to learn to dial in. It's a hell of a lot almost more accessible in many ways to your plant. If you're gonna go organic, I say do your own compost and do that. We are actually talking about that earlier in the show. I don't really think there is net like if you're putting up a fully dialed in organic against a fully dialed in salt based grower, uh, flavor, smell, and taste, you're not necessarily going to notice huge differentials if they know what they're doing. What you will see a marked difference in every single time is typically the salt based grower is going to have better flower formation and a higher yield. Um, True organics, rather than a pre-made product that you're purchasing, are trickier, so they're harder to dial in and they're harder to adjust unless you get really comfortable with it for different plants and augmenting and dancing with different plants. Okay, so salt versus organic, it's the old thing. At the end of the day, I'm going to say both are great. I would lean, like, I'll put it to you this way. If I'm doing an organic run, it's going to be a hell of a lot more work for me. It's going to take a lot longer. It's not necessarily my flowering window, but like the prep work, the time of everything. Um, If we're talking about commercial realities of production, salt base all the way, 100%. It's just the way to go. If you're making a special crop for you and you've never tried it, I'd say start screwing around with it. But really, both sides of the fence dialed in properly, it's not a huge difference in terms of smell or taste. Have I tried wedding cake? Yes. Never grown it, Walter, but I've smoked it and tried it. Yeah. Well, to be fair, Mudswat, I don't have a degree in it, obviously, but I'll put it to you this way, Mudswat. I am being requested to come in as a guest lecturer at the University of UBC, the biggest university in the province of where I live in my country. And I'm the guest lecturer they're bringing in next year. Well, technically, it's this year. It's the end of this year in November, but I'm the guest lecturer they're bringing in to give the lecture on cannabis production. So I'm not technically a professor, but they are asking me to come in and play professor. So take that for what you will. I thought I had a beer going. Did I leave it in the washroom? Maybe I drank it. It's not unheard of. Yep, I did. All right, we need another beer, everyone. Bud Selector says, La Luli. I don't know if I'm saying that right. La Luli. How you doing, Bud Selector? Good to see you. Oh, bro, I'm a very, very hairy dude. I'm a very hairy guy, everybody. I arrive at the nickname Sasquatch naturally. I come from a line of very, very hairy people. You should see the back of my neck here, like toughs out. Oh no, Jansen, all my live shows are recorded. Like my lives don't go down once I do them. You can literally go back and watch any live stream that I at least chose to leave up, or that YouTube chose to leave up, which is most of them. Oh, if you go back a number of years, I used to get pretty drunk at some of these things. I'm like, how the hell did I fucking pull that off? So, dude, true Aussie Ray, if you're talking about that there was plants done to a vegetative crop from a pest coming in and it fought and the plant fought back and came back much more fiercely, or whether it was in flower, got damaged during a flowering sequence, re-veg, and then you re-vegged out, of course. Monster cropping will always be slightly superior to the original plant run. A monster crop plant, in my personal opinion, typically will have slightly deeper terpene and cannabinoid profiles than your previous memory of how it went. How do you simulate stress like that? I grow weed. There's a lot of ways, and you're not simulating stress. You're actually doing stress typically with low stress or stress trainers. With the microagitation technique, which is using a sterilized pin to pierce the exterior skin. Okay, we're not actually hurting the plant because the plant's gonna be able to heal itself so quickly off such a micro little hole, but we do a bunch of them. So the plant is smart. You gotta remember, our plants, they may not think like our organic brains do, but they are alive. They have awareness. They are smart, okay? So when we're using microagitation, for example, that plant is registering. It's like, oh, motherfucker, I'm getting attacked by a bunch of motherfuckers. I don't know what they is, but they stabbing my skin and shit. They're getting all over me. Look, I got little fucking dots happening all over my ass. What the fuck? I'm gonna show those motherfuckers. So it's gonna turbocharge its production of both its natural ability to fend off pests. It's gonna turbocharge its cannabinoid production, its trike production, its fucking resin production, its terpene production. These are all defensive mechanisms of the plant, right? And it's gonna fucking start doing that and be like, yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. You wanna fuck around, find out. Let's go sit there, let's go like, ah. So that's what we're doing when we're manipulating what I call plant psychology. Because again, it is a living entity with awareness. Not our kind of awareness, but it has awareness. And that's where growing weed is not just a scientific thing, it is also a holistic or spiritual thing. And the true greatest growers will be the people who adapt both schools of thought into their grows and applications. Okay? And that's a true thing to remember, everybody. You know what's funny, True Aussie Ray? And that's where, dude. And I'm not trying to look down on you being a fully actual qualified and certified horticulturist. I'm not. I'm a dude who taught himself to do shit and fucked around and found out. And there's a reason why all these companies in Canada that hire horticulturists thinking they'll be successful and then fail are. Just because you know plants in general doesn't mean you know how to grow weed. I've spent my whole life learning the ins and outs of indoor cannabis cultivation, and I'm still learning every day. I'm trying something new all the time. And the funny thing is, though, I think, though, for example, I think it's hard for an horticulturist to grow weed really well just right off the bat. But I think a weed grower, by the inherent nature of cannabis and its diversity, can typically go in and be more successful growing other crops faster than the other way around. And I believe, and that's not me, throwing shade at all at horticulturists. Like, I mean, I respect horticulturists, hell yeah. But like, there's a reason why the horticulture department of UBC is bringing in me as a guest lecturer to give a lecture on cannabis production. A guy who technically only has a high school diploma. Yes, I have an IQ of 167, but like, whoop-de-doo, Basil. Fuck the IQ system anyway, man. It's a load of malarkey. But, well, not entirely malarkey, but I mean, it's still a retrofitted, cube system of measuring intelligence. And I'm like, well, whatever, man. That's like the human mind and awareness and actual intelligence is so much deeper, more complex than this system will ever tell you. So fuck that shit. But I mean, so at the end of the day, cannabis is a weird, inherently special place and special little thing. You know what I'm saying? But and it just comes in time, everybody. Like there's nothing like, yeah, okay, cool. Technically, my brain fires pretty well. Like, I mean, according to our systems, but like the best way to become better at something is practice. Practice. Read. Practice. Hands-on application. That's where I always say, the true grower is a forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. And I think that is almost my favorite lesson I've ever come up with for anyone. And it's like we learn more from mistakes than we do from successes, okay? Like, okay, I do something and it's successful. Cool. I've developed a new technique that I can teach. Great, right? But if I make mistakes, that's turbocharging my brain to be aware of what went wrong, analyzing what went wrong, finding variables, having a bigger picture, right? And the big picture, that's what we got to remember, especially when it comes to indoor cultivation of cannabis, right? We are emulating Mother Nature. We are playing God in a sense. So we got to break down all the variables, right? So that's where if you're having an issue in your grow, where do you begin? Well, you begin at the big picture, right? And then you start analyzing every facet, every little variable of our grow, and then trying to observe how these different variables that we do have control over are interacting with different genetic types of a plant, the different special realities, the different phenotype realities, the different intermixings of plants, right? Like, I mean, and that's part of the fun too, right? It's like a big old sexy mystery tour. You walk into a grow that's fucked up, you're not quite sure what happened. It's like, who done it? We playing fucking Clue now, Sorry, I'm just reading again. I talked for a while there, so I feel like I've fallen behind. Sacred official. What? What did I use for what? I don't know what you're talking about, sacred official. Ooh, good question, Alex. So, do I feel that a plant feeds, or the way a plant feeds, can cause stress if it's from an organic soil that requires things to be broken down to make the required nutrients available, increases defenses or flavor? No. I don't think that stressing your plant out that way is going to benefit you in any way. That's the thing with organics, right? That's where salt base is so wonderful and so easy to kind of tweak your system. Is everything's accessible. The whole thing's built and made to be accessible to the plant. Where with organics, things got to break down before they're accessible, right? Like, okay, think about it in a simple way. I'll put it to you a really simple way. My mouth as a human is only so big, right? I'm not going to walk up to a cow and be able to just really eat it. I mean, I guess I could take a bite out of it if I could catch it, but and it didn't fuck me up. But like, I gotta break that cow down. I gotta break it down into its parts so that I can go make my prime rib. I can go make my fucking ribeye steak or my strip loin steak, or I can go make my ribs. I can go make my this. I can go make my ground beef. I can go do this. It's got to be processed and broken down to make it advantageous for my consumption. If I go try to bite a cow in a fucking farmer's field, I'm probably not gonna be able to bite a cow, or if I do, it's gonna be like skin and fat, and it's gonna fuck me up. And if that cow somehow doesn't fuck me up, it's like 100 friends will. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it works. But with salt-based nutrients, all the work's already done. It's already there. It's easily accessible to the plant, right? So I don't think making your plant, you're just going to starve your plant that way. Like, it's not going to be able to get what it needs, right? So that type of stress, withholding something per se, I will do micro windows of where I'll withhold certain nutrients, or if I see it's starting to be hungry for something, and that's a dangerous game to play. It can do beneficial things, yes, but even I get nervous about approaching it that way, because you're playing with fucking fire on a razor's edge on that one. And so withholding, yeah, you can have benefits, but it's very, very fucking dangerous. It is so dangerous that I'm nervous about doing it. I've been doing this a very long time. But utilizing an unbroken down organic material, no, I'm just starving my fucking plant. I'm teasing. I'm like, motherfucker, if you knew how to butcher a cow, you could eat a steak. That's what I'm doing to my plant. Then my plant's gonna be like, damn, I don't get steak. Fuck you, man. That's what's happening. Obviously, I'm, being funny how I'm representing it. But I hope that answers your question, Alex. Jerks can. The Grow Boss and I have had many run-ins. The Grow Boss is a douchebag. He's a bully, and he treats people like shit. The guy doesn't even grow. He owns a grow store and doesn't really know a whole heck of a lot, okay? So, don't even waste your time watching The Grow Boss or any of those shows. They're just negativity and a bunch of mean people. There's people here in our show, in our community now, that were part of that community. The Grow Boss and I had a few run-ins a while back. It was a number of years ago. The fact is, the way he advocates, his shtick, his character, what he does is just, he's mean to people. And, for example, like if I were to look at your plants, and if I were to see some honest inherent issues, I would be honest with you about it. I would say, look, yeah, like there's some real issues, but I'm not gonna make you feel bad. I'm not gonna shit on you. Okay, I'm gonna help you explore, what did you do wrong? What can you do to improve? Like, how are you gonna change this? Because every grower sucked at some point. Motherfuckers, I taught myself to grow. Do you know how many fucking plants I killed when I started out growing back in the hood days, man? I killed a lot of plants. And that was one of the things that the Grow Boss, I think, was coming in. He's like, you're a plant killer. I'm like, well, motherfucker, sometimes you actually have to euthanize your plants as a proper grower, and that's a fucking thing. That's a legitimate technique, sir. Secondly, we were all plant killers at some point. That's how we learn. It's just how it goes. Now, to be fair, there's a lot of people now who started watching me that they have, like I see their first grows, and then I guided them through it. And I'm not trying to claim they did the work. I was just a dumbass telling them things. And they were so successful in their first grow. And that's the point of this channel, right? I'm here to empower you all at home. I'm here to help you share in the love of something that I fell in love doing many years ago, right? Anyone who's going to belittle you, shit on you, make fun of you, be like, haha, this, that, and then like turn to another group to all shit on you, that is not the spirit of cannabis. That is not the spirit of the cannabis community. That is not what weed is about. It's not what art or agriculture, horticulture, any of this is about. It is a community-based work, okay? It's an important work. Whether we're talking growing fucking staple crops, exotic crops, cannabis, shrooms, it doesn't fucking matter, man. It's all the same shit in a basic sense. But, so, at Dirks, yes, I'm aware of the little grow boss, and don't worry, he ain't no boss of anyone but his own little minions and his own stupidity and ego in his head, and maybe his little grow store. So don't worry, I wouldn't read into it too much. He's insulted me and called me a plant killer too. It's okay. Don't worry, just smile and say, all right there, Buttercup, have a nice day, and come hang out with us at Potsquatch Growers. You'll be fine. Oh, what a moron. Not you, him. Trucker Lindsay, I have grown hydroponics, aquaponics, aeroponics. I've done it all over the years. I typically do soil again. I'm a soil grower now. I've gone full circle, and typically most of the leading growers in BC, we're all growing in soil. We've all done it all, right? A lot of us, anyway. But we all come back to dirt because growing in dirt makes the best weed. Dr. Pot's just kind of funny, Mud Swat. I kind of like that one. If you have to call me something. Aha! Thank you, Secret officials. Now I know exactly what you're talking about. So, yes, so high humidity is bad. Having a high relative humidity is just danger zone. What you're asking for is you're asking for bud rot. You're asking for PM infestations. You're asking for things breaking down. So really, at the end of the day, it's going to cost money to fix. Air movement in general can augment that environment to a fair point, okay? But you're going to need a dehumidifier, okay? You're going to have to use a dehumidifier, and you're going to have to bring that down. So combining a dehumidifier to actually bring the relative humidity down by actually sucking moisture out of your environment, okay? But then keeping that air movement up is how you're going to battle that. What's up, Seymour Cannabis? Good to see you, my friend. I feel you. And Sacrete officials, I'm sorry if I speak too fast. I forget that sometimes that I speak really, really, really quickly. You're going to need a dehumidifier and air movement. Dehumidifier and air movement, okay? Also, to incorporating an AC into that as well is not going to hurt anything because that's also going to drop the relative temperature of your room, which is going to change the evaporation rate of moisture off of your soil medium. Thank you, Vic Victor. I try. What's up, Blue Mountain Kitchen? Great name. Guys, no, leave me alone. I'm doing a show. I guess we're going to have to go back to the washroom in a minute. The dogs are harassing me again. What's up, Cracker Jack? Good to see you. Dude, right? Cracker Jack, a lot of people have. YouTube is a wonderful place. It's just the thing you got to remember is take things with a grain of salt. And the number one thing, and I've said this for years to everybody, like, okay, are you going to go wrong if you listen to me? Probably not. But just because I tell you something's real or works, go try it. I encourage you to. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you things that I know the things that I'm saying work and are real. But it will become real for you and you'll feel more confident as a grower once you go and try it, right? Like, you can learn all the theory in the world. There's a reason why doctors have to go do practicums before they pass med school, right? Real life application, real life experience, fucking around, fawning out is the best way to concrete and build confidence and gain confidence as a grower. Now, also, Sacrete, I will say that if you've had a powdery mildew infestation hitting your grow inside, you will have to. I mean, Jake's All-in-One automatically will treat powdery mildew. Okay, it's a product from Canada. It's organic. It's all natural. Okay, and it will treat that. It'll also boost your plant's immune system resisting powdery mildew. But when your grow is done, you got to clean everything. The walls, the floors, all equipment, all ducking, anything and everything. Because if those mildew spores are still present in your grow environment, it'll be this easy for them to come back, even if you're adjusting the other variables that allow them to kind of get out of control. What was that, Anthony Cordero? What's crack-a-lack and Elizabeth Gomez? Good to see you, yo. He is ignorant, and he is a bully, and he doesn't really know much. Sorry, everybody, I'm just trying to read here. Hash, sling, and hasher. Give you one reason to wake up tomorrow. Well, I'm going to say that either you're making a joke or you're being serious and you're having a hard day. And I'm going to tell you, my friend, I've gone through 2 divorces. I've faced and beaten cancer. I almost died last year. I was in the hospital for a lot of times. And, it's darkest before the light. And, you know, if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling depression and really heavy duty negative things, bro, talk to someone. Okay. The biggest thing is locking yourself in your own head with those thoughts, especially if you're struggling dealing with them. Reach out to someone. Okay. Friends are great, but call a helpline. Okay. Begin the conversation, because things can always get better. They always can get better. Okay. But if you're honestly dealing with something like that, I strongly encourage you to seek a conversation with someone and a qualified professional, man. And that's okay. The strongest thing and the hardest thing is admitting you need help. And the bravest thing you can do is asking for it. There ain't no shame in that. That's strength. That ain't weakness. I don't know. I hope that helps. That sounds about right, Mud Swat. With a hazmat suit. I believe Walter's going back to the cleaning of the PM shit, yeah. Oh my God, Corn Pop, are you telling me that even a multi-billion-dollar musician poops too? Oh, who gives a shit? Grow up, Corn Pop. Grow up, sir. Or she, they, z. Grow up. Come on now. Hey, Hashlinger or Hash Slinging Hasher, dude, we genuinely mean that. All of us here genuinely care about each other. Okay, this is a safe place for everybody. Um, and I'll put it to you this way: if you're having a hard time with those dark thoughts, okay, sometimes just a distraction's really good. I'm a silly dipshit. I've released hundreds of videos over the years. If you enjoy looking at weed shit, if you want to hear funny voices and a weird dude talking to his plants and some funny shit, I mean, we've released some funny videos too. I honestly can admit that I've had probably well over 200 people over the years reach out to me and say that they were having really dark moments, especially during COVID. A lot of people were having really dark moments, and watching my silly, stupid ass somehow brought light into their day, and it was able to get them through the hard days. Sometimes just get through the hard day and waking up for the next one is all you need to do, and things are a little lighter in the morning. But if you're struggling with stuff, whether it's mental health, whether it's a personal trauma, physical trauma, whether it's where you're at in life economically with your job, anything can be improved, okay? If I can do it, you can do it. Anyone can do it, man. And again, I encourage you, talk to somebody, reach out to people. Never be afraid to reach out, okay? And, you come hang out with us anytime you want. You're always welcome, bro. Always welcome. I agree. I mean, Green Mind, it was a weird time. A lot of people in this community and all communities really struggled with that time and the lockdown and everything. And we're not going to get into yay or nay on COVID or vaccines. We're not going to go there, guys. This is a grow show. But what we can say is, regardless of where you fall on that fence, okay, it was hard on us. It was hard on all of us. Different reasons, but it's hard for everybody. Good day and farewell to you as well, true Aussie Ray. May the force be with you, true Aussie Ray, if you catch my drift. enjoy the ablutions. We, the Potsquatch Growers Army, stand with you, buddy. And we're all sending you positivity and positive psychic thoughts and love, man. Okay? Thank you for being honest and asking that question. And it seems like you legitimately meant it, so that was good. Much love and hell yeah. I agree with you, Green Mind. I mean, death happens sometimes, but I agree with you. Nobody should have to pass in that way feeling alone. Because there's plenty of people around the world that are willing to help and stand and be there with you. Like, for example, I'll share a personal story, okay? This one's for you, Hash, okay? When I came back from my last failed marriage, and she lied and got me arrested, and I got out of jail, and I had to spend a ridiculous amount of money to try to prove my innocence on things. I was in love with that woman. She asked me to marry her, man. Um, my life was built with her as this big part of it. Okay. Um, the hardest thing in my life was that marriage falling apart, man. Um, I came to the city with, my wallet. I didn't even have my glasses. I had my phone and my keys. I was wearing these ratty little shorts falling apart and shoes that were falling apart, and that's all I had. Luckily, I had some friends, and I had a place. I went to a place I had to go, but like, it took me honestly like 8 or 9 months to not quietly in secret like contemplate killing myself. It was hard. I wasn't gonna do it, but it like oddly brought me solace in a weird sense. But I got through it though, right? And a big part of how I got through it was probably to the annoyance of my friends, because I kind of said the same thing for 8 or 9 months, because I'm kind of like a broken record, and I was so stuck in the mud over that whole world of what had happened that it took me a really long time to pull myself out of it. It took me a really long time to pull myself out of it. Um, but I got there. It took me the better part of a year to do it, but I did it. And that doesn't mean it still doesn't hurt. That doesn't mean I still don't think about it all the time. That doesn't mean I don't deal with depression or anxiety or sadness about it. That happens too, you know. But my friend, it does get better. I'm not going to tell you that time heals all wounds, but it is definitely one of the variables to the equation that starts to heal wounds. Healing wounds doesn't mean there's not scar tissue there, okay? But I'm sorry that you're having a hard day, but know that we're all sending you huge love to you, okay, man? We're standing with you. We're sending you love, okay? Um, and I strongly encourage you to talk to someone too, okay? Okay? The beautiful thing about the cannabis community, a lot of reason of why we're all here is because a lot of us are medical. Like, we need it for medical reasons, right? Whether we've had cancer or we have post-traumatic stress disorders, depression disorders, anxiety disorders, whether we have chronic pain disorders, whether, like, the list goes on. I mean, the medical applications of cannabis is huge, right? And that's how, like, a lot of people found their way to the Potsquatch Growers community, and how, and we've all sort of built this community, some new, some old, but being allowed to be vulnerable here, being allowed to be open, and no one's going to judge you or look down on you and shit on you. As long as you treat others with respect, we'll treat you with respect. And it's okay to be in a dark place. Sometimes getting over darkness, sometimes conquering the demons in your head or your heart, sometimes the first step of that is just sitting with them. Don't run away from the feelings. Don't run away from it. Don't push it out of your head. Look it in the mirror. And it takes time. And it's hard to do. It's really hard to do. But that's where having people around you care, even if they're strangers. Like, I'll be honest with you, like some of the biggest acts of compassion and empathy I've ever experienced that confirm my beliefs in compassion and empathy in general for the human race have come from strangers or people I barely knew. Some of the most beautiful, touching things I've ever witnessed were complete strangers, So there's a lot of darkness in this world, but there's a lot of really good stuff in this world too. There's a lot of good people too, okay, Hash? And just know that, like, we're here with you. And I agree. Green Mind says positive routines are good. It's hard at first, but it helps big time when you get over that. Totally. Get over that first hurdle is part of the thing. For me, it took like 8 or 9 months to get over that hurdle. And I'll admit, I smoked a lot of weed, and I drank like 40 to 50 beers a day for about 9 months straight. I will own that. That was my story. That was the truth of it. But then beginning to get routines again after I got out of that, starting to work again, starting to do things that I cared about, like trying to do this channel again, trying to grow again, and try to do all the things. What's up, Tony? Good to see you. You know what I mean? Like, trying to do all these things began to bring these small little glimmers of joy and passion back to my life, right? And that's where, even if it's something as simple as you like to braid cord into friendship bracelets, let's say, little arts and crafts things, like, even if it's a tiny little thing, find some little thing that brings you joy
even if it's for a brief glimmering moment. Even when that joy isn't there, you can remember what it was at the time. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's how we begin to take the steps to pull ourselves out of these places, man. You know what I'm saying? Totally agree, Green Mind. It does suck, but it is so rewarding once you begin doing it. And it's just one day at a time. You know, that's how you start it. One day at a time, my friends. But Hash, okay, for me, as a favor, I'm not even going to say the words. You did the first step today of asking a question, and you had look at all these people that are reaching out and talking to you right now and caring about you, okay? Stay with us. It's a hard journey, but I'll walk it with you. Pretty sure a bunch of the people walking at home, even if it's just saying hi to you in the chat and having chats, they'll walk it with you too, man. That's the point of this community, man. It's not just about growing weed. It's about supporting people, empowering people. We the people. That's what this community is. So welcome. You are safe. Come as you are. We love you, bud. Sorry, I'm just reading comments to make sure I haven't missed anything. Elizabeth says, you've been through a lot, man. Yeah, I've been through a thing or two. Prompts to you for keeping good spirits and Viking it out. I mean, at the end of the day, like, ladies and gentlemen, I will share that, like, as an actor, writer, comedian, and filmmaker, as the Potsquatch, as a grower, as a businessman, as everything that I am and that I do, I struggle on a daily basis with anxiety, and depression, dark thoughts. These are a daily thing for me, and I will never hide that. I will never be ashamed of that. As part of what makes me and my story. Yeah, I've been through some stupid shit. You know, there's been a lot of stupid things. Some of it my own invention, some of it completely out of my control. But you know, it is what it is. And at the risk of making a little joke, my God, my friends, by the time we write my biography, it's going to come in volumes. And when you all start reading the chapters of the stupid shit I somehow have not died doing, or been through and not died, or arrested, it's astonishing. Like, I don't know if I've ever talked about it much on the show, but like, I was a guest of the Chinese government once. I was part of the Canadian delegation, the first Spirit of Bethune conference. I almost got arrested a number of times in China, but because I was kind of famous at the time over there, I didn't. I did things like, for example, standing in Tiananmen Square, waiting in line on the anniversary of Mao's death. Then I stood in front of his memorial with a sign with the number of students who were killed in the Tiananmen Square massacre, saying 3 blocks down, because the actual massacre didn't happen in the square. It happened in front of the Beijing Hotel, which is 3 blocks down from Tiananmen Square. I was staying in the Beijing Hotel. The room I was staying in was next to the balcony that took the picture of the student standing in front of the tank. It's a famous picture. We've all seen it. See, why this is scary in China, though, is they've rewritten their whole history, right? Like, you've got PhD history majors who've never heard of Tiananmen Square. You've got PhD history majors that have never heard of Marx or Lenin. They've never heard of the 100-Mile March. They don't know history. They've learned a revisionist fake history that their government feeds them. So here's this big, bald, white fuck. I think I had hair back then, actually, though. Standing on the anniversary of Mao Zedong, their god, right? Kind of like a god. Their totalitarian dictator. Young Mao wasn't a bad dude. He just became a genocidal, totalitarian dictator in the end. And China is not a communist socialist country. It is a capitalistic oligarchy. That's the reality of the country. So I'm standing there, and let's just fuck. This is not smart. Do not do anything I do. When you read my biography, okay, on this show, right, I tell you what to do for weed, and usually that's fine to listen to. But when you read my biography of the other things I've done, other risks or certain things I've done, this is not me advocating for you to do the same. This is me simply sharing a story. So I'm sitting there for about 6 or so minutes. Sign held high. Then 7 fully armed guards with fucking AK-47s and Royal Guard fucking military whatever uniforms come up to me and they go, "Excuse me, Mr. Fletcher Marsh. Can you please leave now?" I looked at them, looked at my sign, smiled, and I said, "Well, I believe I've accomplished what I came to do." I handed them my sign. They escorted me out of Tiananmen Square. Then I fucked off to the poor district and got drunk and smoked cigarettes for the rest of the night and hung out with poor people. It was awesome. It was a good time. Then I got back to the hotel and the Canadian delegation heard reports of what I had done. Well, there's a few people that were upset with me. So I left again and went back to the poor district and had more beer. And then I saw everybody at the meetings the next morning. I'll put it to you this way. I did a number of things like that in China. I gave a speech to the PLA in front of 5,000 cadets about what it means to stand in spite of fear, alluding to challenging the party and taking their country back. I did a lot of silly things, but I'll put you there. Here's the funny end of the story, okay? So I'm sitting in Beijing, I'm waiting in line to go through airport security, right? There's like 1,500 people in front of me. It's like, fuck, it's gonna be like an hour and a half, 2 hours. It's gonna take forever. All of a sudden, I'm standing in line, and then these 3 armed guards with AK-47s come up to me. I'm like, uh-oh, what now? They go, "Oh, excuse me, Mr. Fletcher Marsh, you don't need to wait in line." They literally jumped me through security. Nobody checked my bags. Nobody checked my pockets. They did nothing. They walked me out of airport security, walked me past security, which is now considered international territory. They took me to this like North American style bar, and the Chinese government paid for my tab. And I sat there and drank beer waiting for the rest of the Canadian delegation. All these guys in the Canadian delegation kind of come at me like, "What the fuck was that?" So I turned to them and make the joke. I said, "I don't know, but this is international territory. How bad did they want me out of their country?" Once upon a time in China, my friends. Actually, let me see if I still have it. I may have a poster from... I was doing, because I was supposed to be a character in a movie over there, and it was about a Canadian hero who's a bigger hero to them. Oh, here it is. I still have the poster from, I was doing all these things on TV over there raising money. See, I did have hair back then. Check it out. I don't know what any of this shit says. They got my name wrong. They put Marshall, and I was like, "Dude, my name's Marsh, Fletcher Marsh." And they're like, "Well, I don't know. I figured Marsh couldn't be a name, so they put Marshall on my poster." And I was like, "That's the wrong name." Yeah, I'm even a published author over there. They published one of my papers when I was over there without my permission. I've never seen a penny for it. It sold 100 and some odd million copies in China. I haven't seen a penny of it. They didn't even ask if they could. Dicks. But it was a speech, or not a speech, a paper that I wrote to give as a speech that I never ended up giving that specific speech when I was there, but they put it in a book. I actually have the book, but it's all in Chinese, so I can't fucking read it. My stepmom, she's Chinese, she can read it, but I think it's in this book. I'd have to get her to find it for us, though. I don't even remember what the fuck I said in that paper. I have fuck all memory. I do remember that I wrote that paper at the last minute on a plane flying back from Holland or something. No, I was flying back from Ontario. No, I was flying from somewhere to Vancouver. I know that. And I was like, "Oh, fuck, I got to write this paper for this thing." And so I just sat there and pounded. I got stoned before I got on the plane. Then I pounded a bunch of Heineken beers. And I fucking just wrote this fucking paper really, really quick. And then I sent it off once I got off the plane. Once upon a time in Mexico. Yeah, no, Elizabeth, that's me. I had hair. I told you, hon. I had hair at one point, guys. I did have hair. That face is still underneath here if I shave this off. I just don't have hair now. And I'm aging. I wonder if I have any of my old headshots that have hair floating around here somewhere. I know I got 1 or 2 of those stupid cocksuckers that I stashed somewhere for funny memories. Might even be up here, maybe. No. I'll have to show y'all at a later date. I don't know where that shit is, but it exists somewhere. Is it over here? No. No. One day I'll find it for everybody to see at home. Once upon a time in China, there was a Potsquatch. Well, Sling and Hasher, I don't know how you found the channel either, my friend, but I'm glad you found it too. And again, you don't have to like or subscribe, but it does make it easier to tune into these live shows and check out our videos and stuff. But that's never required. Only like and subscribe if you want, my friends. But here, before we go, we'll show you the plants we're flushing out right now. We did release a video on them yesterday, but approaching the end of their lives. This is the F11 and the Bruce Banner I'm not a fan of. Probably going to cut them down with the Silver Train Rex because, simply put, I'm just going to make them into hash and just get her done that way. Walter Wiseman, do I own a wig? No, I'm proud of my bald head. If a production wants me to wear a wig, they got to provide it. No, Daddy-O Grows, I can't do that. I do have the pepper, though. So Daddy-O Grows sent me some really, really fucking hot peppers. Everybody calls me Uncle Potsquatch, right? So it says really hot stuff, Uncle. And I'm not great at spice. That's where I want to make them into a hot sauce. But here. Oh, no. Bro, I think we got a bit of mold growing on them. That's okay. To be fair, it's just basic little kind of mild mold on there. So I'll scrub them off. I'll cook it into a hot sauce. It'll be okay. They weren't coming from close to here. They were coming from far away. So, yeah, don't worry. I can still make them into something Daddy-O Grows. I'm gonna scrub them down. It's just mild, like the little fur mold on the outside, like you'd get on an apple or something. It's not that bad for you. And to be fair, I'm gonna be cooking it into a hot sauce. So after I get into the show, I'm gonna give them a little clean, a little scrub, clean them down, and then I'll make sure I get the hot sauce cooked soon. Hell yeah, Tony Gilbert. Hey, no worries at all, Hash Slinger or Sling and Hasher, and it's easy to go back and rewatch a bunch of the shit anyway. Well, thank you, Elizabeth Gomez. I appreciate it. I will admit, yeah, I don't have the weirdest shaped head, so I am very thankful that my head's not too weirdly shaped. Yeah, no, Ben, it's just growing on the exterior skin. Like, it's not inside. It's just mold that's growing on the outside, and it was in the mail for a number of days. So, I'm just gonna give them a little wash, and I'll make the hot sauce, and it's just hot sauce for me anyway. So it's like I'm not too worried about it. It's just a little bit of gray hair. Green mind is like, I couldn't pull off a bald head. I got a big old melon head. I got a big head, but it's just the proportions work not too bad. Which is funny because I was a fighter for years. I got punched in the head a lot. The fact that my head doesn't look too fucked is kind of cool. Can you even see the scar when I shaved? There was a scar. Was it that side of my head? I think it was that side of my head. I feel like maybe there. I split my head open. It was funny. Anyway, I'm shocked that my head doesn't look too fucked. All right. Well, my friends, it's been a nice, beautiful, wonderful show. I'm going to say that I think I don't have any more left in me today for the show. But you know what? We've been going for almost 2.5 hours, and that's pretty darn good, my humble 2 cents. So, things that are upcoming, Harvest Day could be in the next few days. It could be in a while. Yeah, exactly, Daddy O'Grows. That's what I was thinking. I'm just going to give him a little wash there. Oh, excuse me. Hell yeah, dude. One, hash slinger hasher. One, say hello to the tortoise for me because I literally love tortoises. One of my favorite animals. Two, paint that washroom. It'll bring a fresh new thing to your morning shits. And three, my friends, my family. It's been a wonderful show. Things upcoming. Harvest Day is going to happen soon. It could be in 3 days. It could be in a week. I don't know. I will release a video when we're doing it. Okay. And we will be doing that for everybody at home to see. And then we will begin the drying process. Then we're going to buck it. Then we're going to trim it. Then we're going to cure it. It's going to be great. Okay. We've got the new plants going, so that's very exciting. We're going to be running that for pretty soon. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of fun videos I'm going to shoot soon. I've got one buddy. I was talking to him before the show, and he wants to set up maybe like me. And there's one guy who's like sort of the head macro photographer for a lot of the big weed companies, but like he's a photographer who's friends with us from the early days of cannabis in Canada. So me and him might do an interview / a video, and then I'll edit that and put it together and release it. That could be fun. I'm thinking about bringing on a couple of other people, of maybe doing a bit of a co-show, or maybe like a pre-recorded video that I release talking to other people in the cannabis industry. So that's going to be fun, some fun stuff. I got some educational videos that I've been toying with making for everybody. That'll be fun too. And again, we got that blue cheese by Girl Scout cookies, motherfuckers. That's going to be good too. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited about growing those out and seeing what happens and going on a ride with it with everybody. Check out the Potsquatch Growers community on Facebook. Answer the questions. It is a liability, okay? So we need you to answer it. Basically, just like don't do illegal shit. Be nice to people. Treat people with respect. If you can do that, everyone's welcome. So check that out on Facebook if you're on the Facebook, okay? Like, subscribe, tell your friends. We've got almost 1,000 videos between the live streams and the videos over the last 8 years. So check that out. Maybe I'll do a little live or a video for our anniversary on August the 10th. Hoping to have some more tents and other shit going eventually, so I can have a few more different things going, so we have a little bit more diversified content. Working on that. I got limited space here, though. We'll see what we can do for everybody. And don't forget to check out PotsquatchSales.com. That's POTSQUATCHSALES, one word.com. PotsquatchSales.com. That's where you're going to get all your hats, t-shirts, grinders, papers, beard oil, CBD, genetics. It's all there. We will eventually release more stuff for everybody. I just got to dig myself into a financial hole before we can develop new products for everybody. But anyway, keep it real, keep it sexy, and remember, the true grower is a forever student. The true grower is not afraid to take risks. The true grower makes educated, stupid decisions. Love yourselves, love your plants, and remember, be nice to each other. We never know what someone else is going through. A small, subtle smile on the side of the road in passing can mean the difference between a good day and a bad day. Love each other. We're all on the same fucking team, and we don't need to agree to get along. Peace the fuck out, and word to your mother. All right, peace out.